this Miami-Milwaukee game, 108-102. It's been a crazy back and forth over the last few minutes with what looked like it was going to be a game-turning flagrant foul on Bam Adebayo, leading to a loss of possession for Miami and a 4-point possession for Milwaukee. But then Kelly Olynyk hit a three on the other end to restore some order, and the Bucks have just kind of been all over the place, all sorts of contact, no calls, and now Miami is going to inbound the ball here using their use it or lose it timeout. Should we just get up to speed on what's been happening in this one?
Sure. I think one of the big stories so far is Milwaukee's shooting struggles. Not only, I mean, the easy top line number to see is 7 out of 24 from three, but if you add on 5 of 16 from mid range, they're just really struggling with shots. And Miami has great shooters. That was something we talked about before the series. And the two different threads for the Bucks defense are pull up threes and pick and pop threes. And we've seen it hasn't been a ton of pick and pop, though. Olynyk had a couple in the first quarter, but pull up threes have been an important part of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and Bucks defense has been better overall. They've only allowed 14 shots at the rim, although Miami has made 11 of those. And it's really been that three-point shooting keeping Miami in it. And Bucks have started fouling again as well. They've given up 24 free throw attempts. And I mean, once again, Giannis, he is up to 22 points. He's had a better second half, but still has not been that dominating. And 31 minutes for Giannis, 30 for Middleton. Both of them had foul trouble in the first. Brook Lopez, only 28 minutes. So there are a lot of guys off the bench playing for the Bucks. Now all they got to do is bring in Pat Connaughton to close here for Wes Matthews, right?
Sorry, I was just trying to get the YouTube link so I can read everybody's comments. That's one of the fun things about this for us. But we're going to have a lot of talk about the sub patterns from this one.
Absolutely. And so now I think what are some of the keys defensively for the Bucks as they lock in? I mean, I imagine they're going to stick with the same players on the floor. Maybe they'll go back to Chris Middleton for Hill. They have started switching more on some of these guard actions. We saw Bledsoe get switched on to Butler after Dragic got a couple of big buckets in the first half by having Butler screen for him. And Tyler Hero has been really good for the Heat as well. He's 3 of 7 from 3. So it's going to be really interesting here to see how Milwaukee defends. They're going to have to do it on the defensive end.
And to let you know, the foul situation, 5 for Chris Middleton, no more than 3 for any other Buck, and then Bam Adebayo has 4 in addition.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler has largely been quiet. They just haven't really gone to him that much in this game. Here's Dragic. Looks like they want to get into the post to Bam. Backdoor. Oh, that's an old Spurs play they just ran. And they're going to call a foul on Giannis, it looks like. He is apoplectic. Let's see. No, it was Matthews who got him from behind. Milwaukee has already used their challenge. A key call, by the way, is Giannis's fourth was overturned. Very questionable overturn, in my opinion. But that is a old Spurs play. Get the ball in the post, fake the zipper cut up the lane, and then go backdoor hard. Butler is a wonderful cutter. He beat Matthews. First free throw for Butler, and that was, I mean, that's when you break out your best stuff in the ATO. Just get a quick, easy play. You don't have to beat anyone off the dribble. You don't have to challenge anyone at the rim, and 2 free throws, and Bud will get his own use it or lose it timeout here.
So since we're going to presumably go straight into Game 7, I think we should probably do a little bit of a preview, considering that's where we're going here. It's the main event. That's the game that we're broadcasting. And where I want to start there, I mean, it's not always necessarily the sexiest thing to discuss, is I think the pivot point in Rockets Thunder Game 7 is going to be fouls. We have, not only do you have a lot of guys like PJ Tucker that like to get into it, but also a lot of adept and aggressive foul drawers. And we saw this come up. It was a huge storyline in Game 7 last night. I think it's going to continue. And who can avoid the unnecessary ones? I think that in some ways is the basic thing. There will be some good calls, some bad calls, some that are through opponent aggressiveness. But if you can avoid the ticky-tack ones, especially for those key guys who get them in bunches, it'll make a huge difference.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mute my laptop, so I missed the end of what you were saying there.
Oh, I was talking about the importance of fouls in Rockets Thunder.
Well, and yeah, I'm sure you hit on the fact that OKC has done a great job of not fouling. I
Yes.
mean, number one for me, though, even more than that, is just Chris Paul versus James Harden and Russell Westbrook. And Westbrook has been terrible the first two games. It looked a little better finishing at the rim, but as we're going to be back here now, we'll talk more about that, of course, throughout the next 2.5 hours or so. But struggle time here for the Bucks. They are down 8 again now, and they probably got about 7 possessions to make that up. Middleton up top to try to get Hill, and now Giannis on the weak side to get it against Butler. Rip through. Nice play call. Oh, he can't get it, though. And now Giannis reaching in a dangerous fashion with Miami in the bonus. Now he's continuing to try and make up for that missed layup, and lucky that the refs didn't call a foul. Here's Bam at range, finding Dragic as Bledsoe is on him. They've done a better job with him in the second. They go under on Dragic. He fades away. Oh, just slips out of that standing reach of Lopez. Middleton doesn't look for the three. Instead, drives on Bam. Gets stopped by Bam. Now Miami can push it. Are they going to attack? No, Lopez is back. And 2 missed layups for Milwaukee. They could have brought him within 4. And now Lopez is stuck. Yeah, you just go double team and they get out of it quickly. Miami didn't take advantage of the mismatch.
Yeah, you have to attack early because otherwise they get enough time to get out there.
Here's Dragic pulling up. No, they're going to get the
Push
offensive
off.
foul.
It's the right call.
The right arm. A lot of guys who like to push off in the series. Giannis probably foremost among them. But Milwaukee now, really, I don't see them winning this without a three-pointer at this point. Yep, there's that shove off from Dragic. Good point of education this year.
And you can think about it. So with 227 left, think about how many points the Bucks need to score to win this game. And I mean, they're probably going to have to get to at least 114.
Here's Bledsoe into the lane. Tough floater. Can't get the foul. Lopez rebounds. He's going to go up inside between two guys, and he just throws it over the backboard looking for the foul. Great defense again. And you see Chris Middleton, you see George Hill standing there with their arms up, shaking their heads. Brook Lopez missed them. You really could use a 3 in that situation. Lopez went for the foul and did not get it. So Miami will surely look to bleed clock. They did not get Wes Matthews in as a defensive replacement to guard Butler, and so now it's Middleton on him. Butler torched that matchup in game 1. Butler gets it back into the lane. He's got Hero wide open for 3 up top. A brick off the heel of the rim. And no, they're going to get Lopez on the loose ball foul. This will be free throws for Miami. Yes, Lopez held down the right arm of Bam.
Yeah, completely the right call. And not the same as the Bam as the Bam flagrant, but turning what would have been probably even without that an offensive possession into 2 free throws for the Heat is massive.
Yeah, and this could make it a 4-possession game. I mean, then you're pretty much done at this point. Now, Milwaukee probably doesn't even have 4 possessions left in this game.
Well, it's a good thing they still have those extra fouls on Giannis, and Chris Middleton has a couple extra minutes to play.
Yeah, well, they should be fresh for overtime.
Yeah.
Adebayo with another free throw to really put this out of reach. Oh, missed that. Bucks still Hart barely beating. Bledsoe looking to attack. Lopez, they sucked in way too far, but Lopez can't hit it. The three-point shooting for the Bucks has been bad, and now we're going to get an interminable review. So let's go ahead and presume, Danny. No, they're not going to review it. All right, thank God.
No, Butler hit it out.
All right, I assumed it was going to be a review. Trying to get it into Giannis. Double team comes hard from Dragic. Giannis trying to get out of it. And what are they going to say here? A foul?
I think they saw a bump.
Yeah, Crowder had the arm holding him with. So 2 big free throws for Giannis. The only problem for Miami here is that you fouled so quickly that little time goes off the clock. Let's see if Giannis can actually hit one. He is 6 of 8 today after a miserable 3 of 12 in the first game. Hits the first.
Well, and something else to watch here. I mean, Miami, they're going to play a version of the prevent offense. And what I long supported in these circumstances is the trailing team should do something to try to speed them up, try to force a turnover, do something else. Yeah, it's possible that the Heat get a basket out of it, but you're going to need something to go really, really right here. And I think that you get that by pressure, traps, and all that.
Yeah, maybe they could have gone with Marvin Williams to get a little more mobility on the floor for that very purpose. Here comes the trap. They give it up to Crowder, now trying to get it to Bam at the elbow, screening away for Hero. Bam looking to attack Lopez. Now Hero finally gets it. He's going to be open here. Gets past Middleton. Can't ice it. Great box out by Matthews to open up the glass. Giannis looking to push it. Gets past Dragic. Going into three guys again. Oh, and it counts!
Oh,
Not a good decision, but it works out. And Giannis with a chance to cut it to 4, Danny.
and we talked about how they had to basically everything had to go right for Milwaukee, and one part of that is by scoring quickly, which they have absolutely done in these last two possessions.
Yeah, the hands down by Bam. That's what killed him there. He's got to stay straight up, particularly in that situation. You cannot afford to foul and potentially give up the three-point play. And Giannis making good on 3 straight clutch free throws here. So now Milwaukee controls their own destiny. They're going to have 2 more possessions in this game. If they can get stops, they could potentially tie it. They want to get it to Butler with Matthews on him. Butler trying to attack. Matthews is there. Good help comes from Bledsoe. Now Bam's going to have to create. Instead, it's back to Bam. Nobody's doing anything. Bam's just going to have to take it off the dribble. Oh! That is just a killer shot from Bam Adebayo. Now Bledsoe trying to attack again, right down the lane. Eschewed the layup, but good rotation by Dragic to Lopez. Here's Giannis down. Oh, and he's hacked by Bam. Another dangerous foul there by Adebayo. That could have been an and one.
Well, and you know the other reason that's dangerous? That's his 6th.
Yeah, but he hit the shot that just may put it away here. I mean, that's a good contest by Lopez. You might want to push up just a little bit more, but he was there. Let's see if we can catch this foul. Yeah, clear foul. I mean, he fouled him good at least, to the point where it was unlikely he's going to be able to put it away.
Enough body contact there to get Giannis off his line, but not a flagrant or anything.
Yeah, if Giannis goes with the one-hand dunk, he might have gotten the end one. But now he's got to earn it with 2 more free throws, and that is not even close. Yeah, you wondered if it was going to run out the free throw shooting luck for Giannis.
And so now Miami, minimum of a 5-point lead, assuming Milwaukee doesn't get the offensive rebound if Giannis misses. And theoretically, if they're going to run all 24, this is where you have to start talking about fouling to just try to extend the game, get yourself more possessions.
Yeah, Olynyk is in. Everybody on Milwaukee should be going hard for this offensive board.
Yeah, especially if you're going to foul. If you're going to foul anyway, then yeah, just crash. Because
Danny, I might even have considered missing this intentionally and just trying to get some big guys in there to get the rebound.
Oh, Dragic violated there, but they didn't see it, I guess.
Yeah, so are they? I mean, they got to press here. They can't just let them run the time down with a 6-point game, but that's what they're going to do. And they're going to have 15 seconds left, down 6, like you're done. At this point, they throw it to the corner. Here's Crowder. His 3 is short. They went a little earlier than necessary. Middleton, they got to get a 3 here. They don't. Off the leg of Dragic, who's really been fantastic so far in this series. And Dragic is saying, no, it actually was not off of me. We should review it. And the Heat bench now calling for that. But ESPN has called for a commercial. And it was actually a Bucks timeout, apparently, is what the play-by-play says. So, sorry for that confusion. Let's assume it now, Danny, though. Actually, let's hit some questions instead, or comments.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, the challenge wouldn't matter. This would be an automatic review if it were anything in the last 2 minutes. I wish I were in North America purely for the time zones. I'm dying here. Yeah, Betsy, where? Oh, 2:20 a.m. Yeah, he's in Europe. Yeah, that's pretty tough to follow the NBA. Actually, being in Pacific is not too bad, although there's the whole like having to go to work during the week thing for a lot of people. But if I were doing my job like Josh Lloyd in Australia, I talked to him like he wakes up and just basically his day is like a 9 to 5. He watches all the games and then records, and then his day is over and he does whatever he's going to do at night.
Okay, according to Colin Weaver, Zach Lowe said that if the Rockets advance, they, quote, should beat the Lakers. Would you agree? No, absolutely not. To me, they have a really rough defensive matchup, and I think that the Lakers their defense has been really underappreciated. The Rockets don't attack in the same way, but no, I would have the Lakers as significant favorites in that series.
3:32 in Slovenia. I took vacation to watch these games live. Man, that is awesome. Watching every playoff game from round 1 to the finals. That's pretty remarkable. So, all right, we're back here. Let's see what happened here.
Well, I mean, you're getting some great Slovenian play so far in these playoffs with Luka, and Dragic has been fantastic so far in the playoffs.
Yeah. No, it's really so glad. I'm so glad to see Goran Dragic back after that knee injury. You really thought he was kind of done. And what are they doing? Are they calling another timeout?
Did Budenholzer not have enough time to figure out what he was doing? I mean, because they needed these timeouts to advance the ball.
Yeah, that seems really crazy. Why would they do that?
Like your whole MO here is that you need to advance the ball so you can shorten the length of your possessions so that you can get enough points to foul here. And so that's having to burn one there when you just had an interminable review that you were probably going to win is crazy.
So actually I've disagreed with Zach going back to that other topic, that the Rockets should win. I mean, Anthony Davis is way better than Russell Westbrook, the second best guy for the Rockets, and LeBron James is better than James Harden. So why should the Rockets be winning this exactly?
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know the full context. So, we do this from actually let's do it quickly from Il Freeman because we're gonna have to get into it quickly. Who do you have in the game? I have Houston. I think they're the superior team, and so that's generally where I go here. And that got me wrong yesterday.
Well, if I were betting on OKC, I definitely would want the money line rather than the spread because I think it's either a Houston blowout or an OKC close win. They try to get Middleton off the screen underneath to Giannis. That's useless, completely useless.
And especially because they burned a timeout.
Yep. They got to get a turnover here. It's the only way now. They do double team Butler in the corner. He gets it in. Ooh, that's risky. Here's Lopez. Oh, he could have gone for the 3 instead. Now it's a 2-point game and Spo's going to get a timeout. That was really bad by the Heat. I know you want to try to get the ball in quickly, but with that little time left, and then Jimmy Butler, once he's trapped in the corner, take the timeout instead of literally throwing the ball back at your own basket.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're just going to chuck it, throw it the other way and give your teammates a chance to recover. But yeah, I mean, we said it was going to take a miracle for Milwaukee to get back in. They just got it. They basically got a free extra possession. And that they didn't have to burn a timeout.
That's also an awesome play. I mean, Kyle Korver sprinting over there to double team Butler. Dragic also could have given Butler a little more of a target, but a double team from Korver was so aggressive that Butler, his ex-Chicago teammate, was just forced to step away and couldn't get any steam on the pass.
So here's something interesting. I think Jimmy Butler stepped out before he passed that ball, but I don't think there's any structure in place to review that.
No, there isn't. There has to be a whistle to have anything to review.
I mean, and I'm totally justified for the refs not seeing that. That's a very hard thing to see live.
So now all importance on the inbounds. Miami still does have a timeout. DiVincenzo is in. Presumably the Bucks are going to try to switch everything here. Andre Iguodala is out with he would be a good choice as the inbounder. They're really going with a lot of space here. Look at where Olynyk and Crowder are standing. That's insane how far away they are.
It's like a 4 corners.
I mean, do they really want to throw it into the backcourt like that? But so you got to switch this. They don't. Oh, they didn't throw it to Hero. Now they lob it up to Butler. Oh, man. And Wes Matthews is trying to say it should be a jump ball because he had a hand on it, but he did not. And DiVincenzo did well to get back and commit the foul. But, whew, man, I mean, Miami, that's if I'm Goran Dragic, I would have taken the time out there. They did not have anything open. I thought he missed Hero on the inbound.
In Arrested Development parlance, risky, risky, risky. That was
Yeah.
dangerous stuff.
Jimmy Butler, an excellent clutch free throw shooter, though, and he can really, again, put this out of reach. I mean, we thought when they were up 10 or up 9 it was, Bam missed the second free throw with under 2 minutes to go. Oh, baby. Surely Milwaukee will take the timeout here now. Wow. I can't believe that. What a comedy of errors. And Miami's still in commanding position, but the Bucks, in all likelihood, will have a chance to at least send this into overtime.
I'll talk about the potential tactics of fouling up 3 if he actually makes this free throw.
Butler does hit the second, so Bud gets the timeout. Let's start first here with who you would have on the floor for the Milwaukee Bucks.
So I think Lopez's high release definitely makes him on the floor. I mean, Giannis has to be on anyway. Let's see.
Korver.
Hill, Korver, and then Middleton.
Yeah, well, yeah, Middleton clearly. Yeah, they might go with Matthews or Marvin Williams. Like, Marvin Williams has a little bit higher of a release than some of these guys. Like, Hill's not really a guy who can get his... You need someone who can get his shot off quickly with a high release. I don't know that that's Hill, but I would imagine he will, in fact, be out there.
At least, yeah, he's such a good catch and shoot guy. If Miami tries to overhelp, he could be a real beneficiary there. Like, let's say he's in the opposite corner.
So you really got to run something here where on the catch, the guy is in position to take the three. Because otherwise they can foul and put him on the line. Now, Milwaukee does have some very good rebounders. Your best rebounder and strength guy, Adebayo, is gone if you're Miami. So I don't know. Like, if you could take away Chris Middleton, I don't know that I would want to foul here, Danny. I think I would just play it straight up.
So the reason that I would seriously consider it is because Milwaukee doesn't have any more timeouts.
All right, here we go. Yeah, that is one reason, but you could give up the offensive rebound very easily and a putback to tie it. All right, watch Middleton here. He's near side. Giannis going to screen away for Korver. Korver looked like he was open, but he's inside the three-point line. Here's Middleton over Dragic. Off. No, a foul! A foul on Dragic!
This game has been defined by 3-shot fouls. I mean, there were, I think, 5 in the first quarter. So, well, I mean, we'll have to see. And Miami does not have a review, which I believe is the only way that this could be overturned.
Yes, well, so watch this. Dragic is moving forward. Yeah, that's a foul. He got him.
Yeah, it's the right call.
He's got his arms forward a little bit more, but if you watch it from a different angle, the original angle, you can see it. So now 3 free throws here. This is massive. I mean, can you imagine a more difficult situation? 3 free throws to tie the game, but Chris Middleton, he did shoot 90% from the line this year. Second free throw is good.
And these are going right down the bottom. They're not even like bouncing around.
Watch this. Absolutely. Dragic continues to move forward into him. And that's the right call by Mark Davis. He's got the perfect angle on it. So this to tie the game. Yes. And hey, Miami saved their timeouts that they didn't use earlier. Well, hey, at least now you got one to draw up a play. But without Adebayo out, you would imagine the Bucks substantial favorites going into a potential overtime.
Absolutely.
What a ridiculous finish. I was this close to having us just start talking about, like, what does this mean? Milwaukee is down 2-0. Is this the beginning of the countdown of Giannis leaving? And, I mean, we've seen these crazy plays from Middleton before where he hit that crazy shot in Game 1 of 2018. Remember that one? From pretty similar spot on the floor as the other side, but near the hash mark. And man, what an odd play it was, too. They start off, Hero was topsiding on Korver to prevent him from getting to the three-point line. Korver got the ball inside the arc, and Middleton, great job moving without the ball to get that look. So now what are they going to run here if you're the Miami Heat? You think that it's going to be Butler trying to take a dribble and rise up? This is one for what you talked about, Danny, where, hey, with 2 seconds left, you sprint at him and force him to make a pass that there isn't time for.
And that's why I would have somebody on Miami at like 3 seconds just break for the basket, and so that in case a double comes, just throw it up.
All right, here we go. Watch Butler here on the opposite side. Hero looking to screen for him. They want to bring him to the near side corner. Butler has space against Matthews. The double comes from Giannis. Here's the shot in the corner. Short. And we go to overtime. This game, very reminiscent of the first matchup of the season between these two teams where Miami had the game won.
Quick
Giannis
update.
came over.
Yeah, great.
No foul, good no call. And he did exactly what we talked about, Danny. Came over with the double team. Did a good job bringing his arm back to not foul. He was very close.
Quick update on the game 7. Thunder are up 17-16 about halfway through the first quarter. Eric Gordon has 6 points. Covington has 6 points. And leading scorer for OKC is Lou Dort with 5.
Did they didn't call a foul on this, did they? They called a foul. Holy
oh my
shit.
God. Well, I mean, Giannis put his hand on his back.
Wow. I'm sorry that we missed that. That's pretty terrible, but
I mean, I saw the hand on the back. It just didn't seem like it impacted anything.
I mean, that is a what's good for the goose is good for the gander. He does get it 0.1 seconds and the foul occurs. It's going to be free throws for Butler. Unbelievable.
And Giannis, that was totally. It seemed like he might have. What he was trying to do there was he maybe trying to make it so that Butler didn't fall as hard. Like you could just let him fall. It didn't affect any. It didn't affect the shot.
Well, no, I mean what happened was he was trying to contest it. Then he didn't want to hit his arm, and his momentum just brought him too far. And I didn't think that was as obvious of a foul as the one that just happened on the other end with Middleton. But I mean, he kind of touched him a little bit. Oof, It was also like well after the release, but they're trying to protect the landing zone from shooters, but he wasn't underneath them either.
No.
I guess maybe that's why you don't sprint at him, because you're out of control.
So it's make one to win game 2.
I'm so bummed out that this is how the game ended, though.
Especially considering all that Miami did wrong to get to this point. Like, it did feel kind of appropriate that they, this was a self-inflicted wound for the most part.
I mean, he had either 1 or 2 more chances, right? I can't remember whether they made it
I think
2 or
that
3.
to me, it was a 2.
I'm really sorry for blowing that call, by the way, guys. It's the downside of putting it on mute. All right, so should we talk about how Giannis is surely going to leave Milwaukee now? Oh my God! Are we getting killed in the comments for not knowing what happened? We probably
no. I think
we deserve it if we did.
No, people are just mad at the call. Wow. Wow.
Oh, the drama of Jimmy Butler barely making the first free throw. Iguodala is just laughing his ass off. That's great.
That's very much Andre Iguodala.
All right, so what's going on in the game 7 here? Houston leading by 4. Any foul trouble or anything we should be aware of here?
No. There have only been 2 fouls committed in the first Wait, when actually my box score didn't update. Nope, still just there's now 4 total fouls, but they're only on they're all separate, so we're fine.
Yeah,
Uh,
Harden has struggled 4 points on 1 of 6 so far. Houston shooting 50% from downtown, 5 of 10, but as is OKC on only 3 of 6. The turnover game has really been in favor of the Rockets. Already 6 turnovers, including 3 for Chris Paul and 2 for Lou Dort, who has been a turnover machine in this series
yeah,
as well.
and 4 of those were live ball for the Rockets, though currently the at least the ESPN version says that Houston has no fast break points. I will see if Cleaning the Glass agrees with that.
But Robert Covington already has 3 steals coming off 5 in his previous game.
Wow, stat from Mike Lynch. An NBA game has not been decided on free throws with time expired since Rolando Blackman on March 4th, 1991. This is the first time it's happened in a playoff game since Larry Wright in Game 1 of the 1979 Finals. That's quite the digging.
So, I mean, we got to talk about it now here. Like, I mean, what if Milwaukee gets swept in this series, Danny? Like, everyone who's like, oh, the Bucks would never trade Giannis. He would never ask out of there. Maybe you could say, and I mean, obviously the series isn't over yet. Like, I'm not completely eliminating the Bucks. I will completely eliminate my Bucks in 5 pick, though. That will not be happening. And so if that's the case, though, that they lose this series in the second round, I mean, in whatever fashion they lose it, frankly, but particularly if it's a sweep or a 5-gamer, and, at that point, does he ask for the trade? Are they just going to not trade him? It doesn't seem like it's in his personality to me to ask for the trade and agitate. And I think even if he does ask for the trade, but doesn't agitate for it like AD style, I think they still would just try to win again next year. And if he leaves in free agency, he leaves.
Well, the Kevin Durant scenario in some ways, which is he's so much better than whatever they could get in a trade for him that maybe you roll the dice. I mean, it's him and Kareem for best player in franchise history. That you think maybe he could change his mind, and that's why getting a clear interpretation from him of how salvageable it is. But remember, the Bucks, let's say they lose this series, even if let's say they lose it in 6 or 7, that's still never making the conference finals, and then you're probably, I mean, putting it at title or bust. And we've also seen Kawhi Leonard leave with the title or bust thing and getting the title. Different situation,
Yeah.
but potentially not that different.
Well, and you would think that if Giannis asks for a trade right now, Warriors is where it is the only place it ends up being, because they're the only team that's good that he would want to go to that has a bunch of assets.
And that can't sign him as a free agent.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Gilgeous-Alexander getting the screen. Now it's Schroeder who's come on. He's guarded by Rivers, who's been their best defender on Schroeder in this series. Late clock, Shea into the lane. Dort isn't guarded. He'll drive it. Instead, goes at Green. Blocking foul called on Jeff Green. Nearly a third turnover.
I think Green was there. I don't think you challenged this, but that's based on the way the rule is called. Maybe they're saying he was restricted area. Let's see.
Well, he's not in his path, though, I don't think.
I guess. I mean, his shoulder kind of was, but his whole body was not.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't take it in the chest, and also it's his forearm, really, that makes the contact. So
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so objection withdrawn.
It happens. Hey, we didn't even know whether a foul had been called. Although, I mean, it did. I will say this. If we watched the replay 4 times and it wasn't obvious it was a foul, maybe it shouldn't have been called.
Though I do regret not mentioning the hand, because I saw it immediately. I just didn't talk about it because I didn't think it was important.
Dort guarding Harden. They want to swing it quickly, but no real advantage gain. Here's Rivers setting up Covington in the corner. Houston gets a lot of corner threes, of course. Nerlens with the obvious illegal screen. I mean, that's just, he's not even close to there. And that's one of those plays where it's just like, it's so obvious. He's like sprinting to get ahead of the guy. not really a great chance to get an advantage. Like, those are the sort of plays that have limited Nerlens Noel's career. Just not smart. Baisley switching on to Harden. Here's the drive from Covington, setting up House, eluding Shea. Great close from Dort. That's Rivers in the corner, but a much worse shot than the one Dort took away. Here's Covington, lefty finger roll. Green fakes, back up. He'll put it in.
And something we've seen from the Rockets throughout this series is kind of deflecting an already almost caught defensive rebound to get it back themselves.
Shea going through the arm of Rivers to pick up the foul, learning from the master, Chris Paul.
Yeah, that's absolutely the right call. Austin Rivers is bad about it, but it's the correct call. And so the only player with the players with 2 fouls, Nerlens Noel and Jeff Green, who are both second unit guys, obviously. But both, Jeff Green could play significant minutes in this game. Do you want to guess what time Schroeder checked in, with how much time was remaining in the first quarter?
6 minutes.
5:24.
Yeah.
But they were ahead when that happened.
Here's Westbrook trying to deny Schroeder. Now he gets back. They'll switch this. Baisley guarded by Tucker. Not an advantage matchup. Back to Schroeder. Late clock. Trying to force him left. Forcing him left. Paul is wide open in the corner as House came off of it, but Paul couldn't make him pay.
Yeah, and I don't think House needed to come off there. It had it pretty well contained.
Here's Westbrook. Has the size advantage on Schroeder. Gives it up. Wants to get in the post. He says, Jeff Green, go dribble up there so I can post up. Let's see if help comes here. It does not. And Westbrook with the banker. Nice short-range shot from Westbrook.
And he rocked the baby on his former teammate.
Yeah, well, he's probably got about 50 pounds on Schroeder. Here's Adams, deep post-up. Pass is offline. Baisley, who's been an effective driver in the series, right-handed pass. Shea, good help from Rivers. Shea Euro-stepping around. They throw it away again. Stay here with 4.3 left.
And I talk a lot about pass velocity. That was a velocity and accuracy problem possession for Thunder. The wild pass from Adams to Baisley, and then a couple other slow ones allowed the Rockets to recover.
Yeah, and that good no call there as Schroeder clearly just almost jumped backwards in the air on that post up. 4.3 left. Schroeder trying to pop out to the corner. Now he just went right by Jeff Green. What was that? What was Jeff Green doing? He denies him initially, and then he just lets Schroeder run right to the corner to the ball in the most obvious pass on the court. Westbrook almost threw it away. Now it's House on the drive at Baisley. Baisley with the stop. Darius Baisley has played well in this series. Now he's running the floor hard. Gilgeous-Alexander on the drive. Back out to Paul. Thought Rivers got away with a foul on that drive. Schroeder feeling it. Nice rebound by Adams, but as has so often happened, a bunch of Rockets surrounded, but it goes to Baisley. Now Schroeder too late on the pass to Gilgeous-Alexander. Now Gilgeous-Alexander stopped by Green. No, there will be a foul. Let's see what they get on this.
Remember that in Game 6, in the first quarter, the non-Harden minutes were an absolute disaster. Westbrook had a couple of bad misses, had a couple of turnovers, and so far they are... well, before these free throws, it's only -1, but it could go to -3 in these minutes.
Foul was called on P.J. Tucker reaching in from behind. Gilgeous-Alexander with another free throw. 2-point Houston advantage. Westbrook missed Green wide open in the corner for a three. It did not look that way. Instead, they swing it around the other end of House. Gordon attacking Gilgeous-Alexander in space. Good help from Adams. Swinging it around, though. Now Tucker is wide open, and he misses that three. But, yeah, Steven Adams, he helped there, but he's got to get quicker out to the corner after the help. Now Schroeder in transition pulls up for the 2-for-1. Obvious jump shot there. Now it's Westbrook going at Paul. Gets past him. Nice layup from Russell Westbrook as he got past Adams.
And Westbrook stayed under control there. He wasn't going a million miles an hour and to throw it off the backboard. He had his feet under him.
And that's one of those plays where I feel Steven Adams really declined as a rim protector. Paul blew past Gordon and sets up Baisley in the corner for a three. What a move by Chris Paul. He crossed the crap out of Eric Gordon. And then Adams set the screen for Baisley for the three. Now Westbrook guarded by Schroeder. Time running down. Tucker setting the screen. Westbrook shoots it from deep. And the 25% three-point shooter could not get though. And an OKC, despite a zillion turnovers, leads it by one here at the end of the first. The three-point shooting has been the big thing for the Thunder. They're shooting it at 5 of 10. Rockets started 5 of 10, but missed their last 4 to finish 5 of 14 in the period.
Also worth noting, the Rockets were outscored by 5 points in the 3 minutes where Harden sat. As John Hollinger talked about, that's going to be a real pressure point for D'Antoni in this game is how comfortable does he feel sitting Harden? Because if he plays too many minutes, he might run out of gas like he did in Game 6. But I think we should take a moment to talk about our friends at bookies.com. We had an unusual kind of start to this game because of the lead-in. But you and I provide a lot of information through the podcast, through the NBA cast, and one of the things you could do with that information is if you're over 21, go to bookies.com/NBA for the latest live odds, expert picks, and the best online sign-up deals anywhere on the internet.
Yeah, absolutely. That latter part, if betting is legal in your state, you can click through and get used to them now because betting is going to be legal in a lot more states pretty soon, I would imagine. And so bookies.com, your best place for information. Bookies.com/NBA is your place to go here. I'm going to grab myself a quick water if you want to take a couple of questions, Danny.
There's a question from Namir Baker. Do you guys think the top 2 seeds in the East being down 0-2 is a byproduct of the bubble or their own weakness? Well, I think the bubble is a part of it because usually there is a much larger home court advantage. So even if you want to say that, in particular, the Celtics are a stronger, that the margin between those two teams is closer than a typical favored seed and lower seed, that, usually they would be playing those games on the road. I think that is a huge contributing factor here. But I also think that both of these lower seeds have played phenomenally. And Miami clearly outclassed Milwaukee in game 1. And then this one was more of a coin flip, though I think outside of some some craziness late, I thought Miami was the better team in game 2 as well. Let's see. Why is Jeff Green? That's a great question. I have been lower on Jeff Green basically forever. I had this old rule from starting from when I began really at Real GM that whoever trades Jeff Green is the team that did better in the trade. You could go back to the Ray Allen trade and just all those, but he is a talented player, and I think I have at times underappreciated what Green brings. But I think it's he's always clearly passed the eye test, going back to when he was a prospect at Georgetown, and so I think that leads. And he's a very good guy from everything I've heard. Has an amazing story, and has positional size and all that. He just doesn't have the depth of his game. So I think has a lot. There are a lot of reasons why people like him, and sometimes his plays of it. He has bright moments to be sure. Wiggins is Jeff Green 2.0. I don't think so at all. I mean, Green plays harder. I think he has more tools in the toolbox right now. What Wiggins is different because he was a much more talented physical athlete than Green. I mean, Green was intriguing with his positional size. I went to college at the same time as Green. I saw him play in person at the Final Four, actually. But I think that, if memory serves, I might be wrong on that. But I think that Wiggins was a different caliber of player, and it, isn't seen the same way. I don't see the appeal there.
All right, we're back. As am I. Gilgeous-Alexander matched up against Westbrook. Westbrook stopped by Adams on the help defense. Ugly play from Westbrook. Paul leaves it for Adams. Nice pass by Chris Paul, and House no choice but to foul.
And Steven Adams, something that I think he's done better at moments in this series is working to establish position and then getting out of it when he doesn't. And then when he gets the ball, attack incredibly quickly, because that's when you get the advantage Houston can't swarm.
Adams
also,
hitting
that way
the first
that way you avoid the 3-second call. But we're not seeing that many of those actually called.
Yeah, it hasn't been a great series for Adams. He's had some effect at times on the offensive glass. Many, including me, have called for more lineups with either Baisley or Gallinari at center as he misses a second free throw. Westbrook looking to push it up. Into the lane against three guys, just lays it right up over Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah, and you mentioned Adams. He made a good play last time, but he's also allowed Westbrook to go to the rim with little resistance a couple of times too. And Gilgeous-Alexander has really struggled in individual defense in this series, mostly against Harden with before Westbrook came back. Green fronting Adams in the post. That Schroeder goes into three guys, and I guess they're going to say he was tripped, saying that House got him. Looked a little out of control beforehand, though.
Yeah, I would agree.
Couple of quick fouls here on Daniel House.
Early fouls to start the second and fourth quarters can lead to free throws late, especially with Oklahoma City benefiting. Chris Paul knows how to handle that.
Here's Paul looking to get into the post to Adams, which is not an advantage matchup against Tucker. Gordon just goes for the pump fake, and they give up a wide open three. Bullet dodged there for Houston. Westbrook looking to push it again. Back to goal against Shea. Shea trying to keep him out of the middle. They strip it, and he gets it back. Now he actually gives the ball up. Gordon to Tucker. Back to Gordon, who's been a great driver in this series. Not as good from the outside. He's going to try and take Bazley from the outside. Way short. Bazley with the length. But Gordon right back for the three off the Tucker rebound, and he can't make him pay either. Now Bazley, man, what a possession from him. And then he almost throws it away. But Bazley, with his length, he's made an impact defensively. Now Schroeder pulls up over Westbrook. Shots not falling here all of a sudden for OKC. Westbrook back to goal against him again. That's a tough fadeaway. What a terrible shot.
Yeah, and that's been a big issue of mine in the Westbrook-only minutes. Remember, I think Eric Gordon in some ways was a better steward of these minutes than Russell Westbrook has been, because sometimes he's just a little bit selfish. Wow, I didn't need to couch that as much as I did. Sometimes he is straight up selfish.
Yeah, and Paul blowing by PJ Tucker. Interesting that Tucker just gave him his right hand. And Paul, we talked about this on the pod, he's been much more aggressive finishing at the rim without a traditional rim protector for Houston. Here's Jeff Green on a quick release three. They needed that one. And he gives Houston the 1 point lead again. You do get the feeling, though, Danny, that the longer this stays close, the more the sphincters start to tighten a little bit for Houston as they've gotten beaten in clutch time in this series. Shea going at Westbrook, forced to pick up his dribble. Good individual defense. Now they're really late clock. Paul gives it up to Shea into the lane. Floater. Oh, killer shot there.
And Westbrook fell asleep a little bit. He didn't move as Shea slid a little bit, and that gave Shea an advantage that Westbrook didn't really recover from.
No, it was terrible. Like he just is bent over at the waist, not trying, sort of loading, and Chris Paul saw him and just threw it right to him. I mean, we saw Russell Westbrook do that at times at the end of games in that Portland series a year ago playing for OKC. The joke, of course, was that Westbrook hasn't played as good a playoff game as this for OKC in a couple of years after the last game. But yeah, good catch on that, because, I mean, there's no reason for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to be open like that at that point in the clock. Gordon ties it at 35. You got to wonder what's up with his shot these last couple of years and why he just cannot get the three-pointer to go lately.
Yeah, he got Gary Harris. Actually, I guess Gary Harris got Eric Gordon disease. But Gordon has a way better mechanical jump shot than Gary Harris does.
Yeah, and Gordon, you know, he was like a 45% three-point shooter a couple of those years in New Orleans when, admittedly, he was much more limited. And as a driver, he's been much healthier in Houston. As a defender, he's really grown to be a quality option. Here's Dort open over Covington. Big shot there for Lou Dort to give OKC the 2-point lead. Harden is back now, so Houston survived those minutes at least. Big screen by Covington on Dort, knocked him down. Green had Gordon open and finally gets it to him. Gordon tries to attack. Covington along the baseline. Layup goes. Robert Covington has looked better as a driver of late in this series. Now Schroeder has the advantage matchup on Harden, gives it up, and Paul says, no, go back to him. Green's in the strong side zone. They're not guarding Dort either. Now they swing it around. No advantage gain there because of the help off of Dort. Dort leaving it for Noel. This is late clock. They still don't have it in a decision maker's hands. Now it's Schroeder trying to set up Bazley. His three over Tucker is down again. Too late clock buckets by OKC here.
And worth noting, this was a long rest for Harden. He came out with 2:40 to go in the first quarter, and then it was a little bit over 9 minutes. Part of that was fueled by them standing at the table, and there just wasn't a stoppage. But longer rest than usual for Harden.
Yeah, Darius Bazley, to me, he should be playing over Steven Adams. I think he gives them much
Agreed.
more. Here's Green on the drive. Tucker, as they helped off the strong side corner, and like, really did Nerlens Noel need to do that, right? Like, why is he running in away from the corner like that? Someone else is helping. Chris Paul is just staring down Nerlens, and he's like, go take the ball out of bounds. Gordon gets through the screen nicely. They did not switch that as easily. Now they do. No, they don't switch it. Gordon gets through it. That leaves Dort open. Pick and pop 3 from Lou Dort. But
yeah, that's not what we expected when we talked about Lou Dort being a screener more often in the series.
Harden on the drive. Into the lane. Tripped, but he still finds Tucker, who can't hit the corner 3. Paul. Bazley attacking Green. No, he stepped out.
Another reason I would love to see the court widened. I mean, the players standing at the 3-point line, they just give them a little bit more room to take that step back. I mean, I get that they shouldn't do it, but still.
Yeah, Houston's going to continue to give Dort that pick and pop 3-pointer, I would imagine. Harden has Covington, loads up the 3 over Bazley, who got a good contest. Those long arms of Bazley are surprising these shooters. Paul pulling up over Tucker and his long arms, but misses. Harden pushing it ahead. Gordon looking to drive on Schroeder, but nice help from Dort. That's one of the disadvantages of Harden. When he doesn't have the ball, he doesn't get into a shooting position. His man actually can help more than you would think. Nice job by HOU splitting the angle of the screen. That's going to be a blocking foul. No!
Ooh.
Charge on Schroeder. Good job to draw it. What do you think on that one?
I don't think Schroeder stayed solid until when the contact came.
No, by the time Harden begins his upward motion, he's nowhere close to getting there. Like, Harden is already basically in the air by the time Schroeder gets there.
And remember, that's when you freeze it right there, not when you don't freeze it when the contact happens. You freeze it when Harden leaves his feet, and that was way earlier. I agree with you.
Yeah,
would you consider challenging this?
How many fouls is that on Harden?
That is number 1.
Did he make the shot?
No, he didn't.
I wouldn't.
And Schroeder, that would be his first 2. I think you consider it, but no, I think you can have a higher utility opportunity later. Let's get some questions.
Indeed.
Is Bazley bulking up the rationale for drafting those skilled skinny guys over the NBA body? Yeah, to an extent. I mean, what kind of frame a player has is really important. Like, there are some guys who just can't get that much thicker, but with Bazley, yeah, I think that is a reasonable argument. And we hadn't seen any film on him because of the unusual circumstances that led to him being going to the pros. But he's looked great so far.
Yeah, and he's playing with a lot more confidence than your typical OKC role player, young player type. Shooting the ball, I think actually the time that he got, even going back to like that Miami game that OKC somehow won to cost themselves a draft pick, I think that confidence that he was able to get in some of these games that didn't matter that much is really carried over.
We got a question from Green Raids, or it might be Reeds. It's hard for me to Rada. How worried are you about the Bucks? We can either talk about this now, or we can do a small time to panic on the pod. Your choice.
I think let's save it for. I mean, we have to talk about it on the pod, so we might as well just save it for that. I need to just kind of chill. I do want to get a thought though from you guys. We'll do both of them. Let's do the Middleton foul first. How many of y'all thought that the Middleton foul was a foul? The one that Dragic committed on Middleton. Wow, a lot of people saying it's not a foul. I guess you disagree with us. I thought it was absolutely a foul. All right, this is a scientific poll here.
Very scientific.
Yeah, it looks like it's about 50-50 on this. Um, yeah, I mean, to me, the big difference was that he is still moving forward with his chest when the contact occurred. Uh, but I mean, it does seem like when that foul was called on Giannis, as well. Is this live again? No, they're just showing
No,
Dort hitting some
the
shots.
Dort sizzle reel. Well, it is worth going through Lou Dort's line right now. 12 points, 4 of 8 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3, and 2 turnovers. So I mean, you wouldn't that's a lot of found money so far for OKC in a game that they lead by, I believe it's 4.
Yeah, and well, we're back here. We can talk more about it, but it reminds me of Andre Robertson in that 2016 series against the Spurs. Here's House fighting hard against Gallo, gets it to him, but no advantage gained at all. They just wasted 14 seconds. Here's the drive from Shea, setting up Dort again. Bucket again. Lou Dort,
wow.
A fourth three-pointer. Now the question becomes, are they going to adjust? Are they going to start guarding him? Because that could change a lot. Harden through the lane, triple teamed. Gordon, corner 3. Yes, finally Eric Gordon on the shorter corner 3 matches Lou Dort. 3-point lead. Tucker stepping out hard on Schroeder. Schroeder wants it back to attack the slower Tucker. Good defense. Dort again. The pass was off, though. Now he's feeling the confidence going at Covington. Misses. Rebounding. Going up strong. And it'll be a foul on Robert Covington. Lou Dort, a powerful driver, feeling the confidence after hitting a few shots.
And remember, we've talked about how Robert Covington, while being the tallest of the Rockets, is also very thin. And so Lou Dort going after him actually makes some sense. You can get into his body a little bit, which Dort did there.
Who has a better chance against the Lakers? Oh, absolutely Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, OKC has no chance against the Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Covington had the arms forward, clear foul on him when the contact occurred on the forearm of Dort.
Yeah, that's come up before. I mean, OKC has no one to guard LeBron and no one to guard Anthony Davis, which is somewhat of a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Dort would get the first attempt. Gordon, pass faking. Here's House on the drive, going right through Shea. Missed it. Tried the tip. Missed that too.
And nice job by Nerlens getting back into the play and getting that rebound.
Here's Schroeder. He's double teamed.
First one.
Now Shea going to try PJ Tucker. Tucker eating up the space on him nicely. Back cut by Dort. Off the glass. James Harden went to double team, and Dort with the smart cut. Harden stepping back on Gallo, who switched onto him extremely poorly.
I mean, Gallinari was, I guess, playing the drive there. Harden, easy step back.
Well, I think he miscommunicated with Dort. Here's Shea going at Harden. Bounces off of him, trying to keep his footing on the baseline, but could not.
Yeah, I think if Shea never touches that ball again, it would have just gone to Dort. But he tried to tip it to his teammate and hadn't reestablished.
Yeah, Lou Dort on quite the run here. This is even probably more than what we saw from Robertson in that Game 6 back in 2016. They're going at Gallo again with James Harden. Covington setting the screen. Harden getting to his left. Back out, Covington. Nice closeout by Dort, but now they just go double team both of them, and they give up the wide open three. So 2 miscommunications between Dort and Gallo, where they've both run to the wrong guy. Gallo over Covington to get it right back.
And Gallinari had some huge shots in the third quarter of Game 6 to help keep OKC, to give them a lead, actually, which was real huge considering how bad he's been in a lot of the series.
So Westbrook is back now, and very interesting to see as they're going to go after Gallo again. Harden, nice right-handed behind the back pass, setting up Covington. Misses it. Westbrook rebounds. He's got Covington again. Nice close from Gallo. Now Westbrook going at Paul. Yeah, now it's a three from House in the corner. Houston will get those threes up. Gilgeous-Alexander. Westbrook with the double team. Oh, they're going to get him with the foul. It slid. He got ball first, and then it slid off of his hand onto the wrist to pick it up. So with Westbrook back in, one thing to watch is that Harden's production really drops when Westbrook is on the floor, which isn't a surprise. Westbrook pushes the ball up a lot more, and also you don't have to guard him at the three-point line, and so that takes away a lot of the spacing that Harden relies on.
Let's talk a little bit about our friends at bookies.com. The Adam Thompson, who is just under 70% now after a miss, I think, yesterday. He picked Thunder over the Rockets. They were 5-point underdogs in this game, which is interesting. And those expert picks have been really fun for us to watch during the playoffs, and both doing very well. Mark Strawman and Adam Thompson well over 50%.
Yeah, you got to love those guys, and you got to love bookies.com because they've got live updating odds. You can click through to legal betting deals in your state as well. The best deals, like they got a great deal at PointsBet for people in New Jersey, for example, and just a great place to get information on betting. Bookies.com/NBA. Follow them on Twitter at Bookies. So let's catch up on some of the insane shooting in this game. 10 of 25 from three for the Rockets, 40%. 10 out of 18, 56% for the Thunder, led by Baisley at 2 of 2 and Dort at 4 of 6.
And overall, the Thunder, they've only taken 7 shots in the restricted area, 1 shot from floater range. That's a total of 8 shots in the lane. The Rockets are doubling them up with 16. But the Rockets only have 1 more make because they're 7 of 15 in the restricted area. And the free throw attempts, both low. Rockets have taken 4, 2 by Gordon, 2 by Harden, and then the Thunder have taken 8. They've only made 5 of those, though.
We have time for any questions here?
Yeah. From Deanne Saldier, what do you think the Jazz did wrong in the offseason from a roster building standpoint? I think they got a lot right. I mean, Bogdanovic, when he was healthy, I thought that worked reasonably well. The biggest mistake was Ed Davis, but Ed Davis falling off the way that he did wasn't something that we foresaw. I mean, it worked out incredibly poorly, but I think that's a little bit of a different conversation. To me, I think the biggest thing that you could argue that they did wrong was that they, in the early season, they bet too much on Dante Exum being a capable part of their bench. They basically didn't have a cogent theory of the bench, in my opinion. Emmanuel Mudiay has never been since his second year has been somebody I didn't believe in. I believed in him as a prospect, so that meant that they had to make the Jordan Clarkson trade, but that worked out reasonably well. So I would say that was the biggest mistake. The biggest mistake was there. And with Conley, I mean, I thought it was a reasonable gamble. They did give up some stuff for him, but it wasn't like blue chip assets. So how did you feel the same?
I mean, I thought their offseason was fine. Really, the bigger complaint was the Bogdanovic contract down the road. I thought Davis was good, although the concept of Davis, not really a pick and roll center and not as much of a rim protector, maybe wasn't great, but he seemed like a good value. That was the going rate. I thought he was probably the best player, or at least he played the best last year of any of these guys who signed for that full room exception. So what do you think here, Dave? Would you change things up on Dort, who now has 18 points? Or
No.
are you going to keep playing him like this?
I don't think he's a 4 out of 6 shooter. That's just I think that the things that they're taking away from everyone else, I think it's continuing to be worth the gamble.
Oh, Gordon is out, House is in. Paul, Harden denying him. Harden has been very fired up to guard Chris Paul. There's a nice pass by Gallo, but it goes through the hands of Adams. Then he trips down. Harden looking to push these. Only 2 of 7. Trying Dort again. They swing it around. Covington, three-pointer. Man, Robert Covington now 4 of 7 from downtown. A second straight outstanding game from him. And Houston back within 2. Gilgeous-Alexander waves everyone away. They want to go at Covington one-on-one. We've talked about his limitations as an individual defender. Here's Dort again. Can he make it 5 for 8? No. Way short that time. I mean, when he misses one like that, then you don't change up your strategy. Covington wide open again. Westbrook, what a rebound over Dort. Harden, he can get past Adams here, goes for the layup, and they're going to get a blocking foul in the lane on Chris Paul as he sidled underneath him.
And to me, that one was similar enough to Schroeder to illustrate why the call that Schroeder drew the charge should have been the other way.
I respectfully disagree with you there because I thought Harden stepped around Paul and was able to not really allow Paul to take the contact straight in the chest, whereas Schroeder did take it straight in the chest. He just still got there late. Usually, if you take it in the chest, you got there in time, but he was so quick that he made them miss the fact that you're supposed to call it on the gather, which they frankly never do when they start the upward motion.
Yeah, that could be a potential point of education for next year.
So it looks like a technical foul has been called here. I'm guessing that was Chris Paul complaining.
It was a delay of game violation.
Huh. Chris Paul just not have his jersey tucked in or what? Yeah, see if Twitter can clear up exactly what happened there. So this has been, it was 52-47 at the last time out, and Houston has put up 8 straight now, looking to make it 9 with another free throw from Harden. Paul and Harden have both relatively struggled here. Paul, 5 points, 2 of 5, does have 8 assists and 3 turnovers. Eric Gordon has returned. He replaces House as they go back to their starters. Westbrook trying to help off of Schroeder. Paul should look to Schroeder potentially. Paul into the lane, tried to draw the foul, could not. Schroeder on the drive, baseline. Gallo with the nice baseline drip, but Covington came over beautifully to take that away. Now they're stuck in the corner. Adams just have to throw it up, a hook shot, and he did not get it off.
Yeah, I mean, that closeout recovery by Robert Covington saved the entire possession. Gallo was going to have a wide open corner 3, and instead the Thunder didn't even get a shot off on the possession.
Yeah, I mean, that was really incredible work for him. I thought Gallo had the initial shot. So Harden in the post against Schroeder. Dort is out. And Harden should be able to cook here. He tried to get Westbrook, and there's the limitation. That's why James Harden does not play as well when Russell Westbrook is on the floor. They're not going to guard him. He tried to cut. The pass was way too hard. Now it's Paul attacking at the end of the half. Gets it out. Gilgeous-Alexander is wide open. Watch Chris Paul here. He likes to do this at the end of the half. Just start attacking hard off the dribble. He saves his energy for the end of these halves. Here's Gordon trying to break down Covington. Passes off. He doesn't care. He'll shoot it anyway.
And that was also on the last possession. Terrible help by James Harden. He got all the way in and didn't really affect Chris Paul in the drive.
Now it's Gallo against Gordon. Looking weak side. Nothing there. Adams can't get open. Now it's Paul up top. Harden guarding him again. Looking to keep him off that right hand. Paul gets into the lane. Stripped away. Harden looking to push it hard. Gordon attacking Gallinari. And Gallo chops down for the foul.
Yeah, and so we're seeing more of the aggressive Eric Gordon that you and I like. He's one of only 2 Rockets to get free throws, but I believe these will be 3 and 4 for Eric Gordon in the game. And yeah, absolutely a foul.
The third quarter is shaping up to be absolutely critical right now, Danny, because I really think the Rockets have to stake themselves to a comfortable lead as Gordon hits that free throw, because it really is advantage OKC at the end. They have been great in the clutch all season. Chris Paul has been great in the clutch this series. James Harden, as Kevin O'Connor noted, shoots 24% from 3 in the fourth quarter in overtime in the playoffs. Maybe that might have been over like the last 5 years or something, but certainly it was a significant amount of time. Russell Westbrook is not ready yet. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander going at Harden, whose individual defense has been solid. Paul attacking right baseline, tried to draw the foul. He did, and that's a little speculative, that call. No,
Yeah, the
see, all it is you. I mean, this is what it is these days. You get your
Gordon dropped his
forearm.
right arm.
Yeah, you get your forearm on the guy, even in the slightest, and Chris Paul or Kyle Lowry, they're going to feel that. Lou Williams, they're going to feel that, and they're just going to throw up a shot, and you're going to get called for it. You just cannot put your forearm on a driver. You got to show both arms. I mean, that's something that coaches are even teaching now of if you're trying to guard a guy on the drive and you're next to him, you basically have to like run next to him with both your arms up at the same time. Show the referee your hands. So Paul bringing them back within one. Rockets with a chance for the 2-for-1 here. They'll surely run the time down. You'd think. No, they're going right away, it looks like. Harden stepping back on Gilgeous-Alexander. Rims out. Covington kept it alive beautifully. Gordon way out. Oh, yeah. Eric Gordon certainly not cowed by some of his misses in this series. He is firing away out there. Schroeder looking for the 2-for-1. Tucker all over it with the help. Back to Schroeder. Mid-ranger. Short. Nice rebound from Covington.
And Tucker recovered to make Schroeder kind of change the angle a little bit on that shot. I think it made a difference.
Yeah, I mean, for a guy who can't jump at all, PJ Tucker is a wonderful help defender.
I would like to see the Rockets go earlier here.
Harden crossing up, getting to his left, tried to step back. Schroeder was on it. Has to throw a flaming bag into the corner. Now Paul can push it. He's got time. He tries to draw the foul. And did they give it to him?
Yeah, it looks like they did.
I just can't stand it, Danny. I can't stand it. That's not a foul. There's no way that's a foul. He's trying to dribble the ball towards the right sideline with 1 second left. He starts his anguished motion before the contact even happens. It's such garbage. I hate it.
And that's an absolutely huge swing. Remember, the Rockets were up 4 before these free throws, and now if Chris Paul makes a second, and he does, they're only up 2.
And that's a third foul on Robert Covington as well.
Yeah.
It's got to be boy who cried wolf at this time. Marcus Smart, Kyle Lowry, we talked about on the pod yesterday. If it's Marcus Smart or Kyle Lowry or Chris Paul, if they fall down, you better have an absolute perfect view of what happened. Like there was no contact other than Chris Paul touching with his arm. I hate that so much. All right, I needed to just take a break during halftime and calm down. Apparently.
Hey, it's good to see the fire.
All right, we'll be back in like 10 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, we'll be back in like 10 minutes there. Oh, all right. I think I've calmed down. I can't stand it anymore. But let's before I get worked up, let's talk about something other than that foul at the end of the half.
I'll go through some of the basic stats so far. This has been a very efficient game. We're below 100 possessions, 49 each in the first half. 124.5 offensive rating for the Rockets, 120.4 for OKC. The Thunder, despite turning the ball over 11 times, which is a full 24.5% of their possessions, the way that they've been that efficient offensively is 73% true shooting, which is completely ridiculous, and also 25% offensive rebounds. And the Rockets not turning it over as much, but they're actually grabbing more offensive rebounds. The Rockets have 8 compared to 4 for the Oklahoma City Thunder, though I think there are a couple of team rebounds in there too.
Yeah, I mean, who do you think played better in the first half?
I would lean towards Houston. I thought that not only did OKC get, they were on fire from three, but they were disproportionately on fire from three. But I thought the Thunder executed reasonably well. So I think it was pretty close to even, personally.
Yeah, I would say so too. I mean, Houston only 44% on twos. Usually they need to shoot like really well on twos. They're kind of staying in it with 3-point shooting that's better than you'd expect, but obviously the Thunder, the exact same thing. So, before we get into more of this halftime show, let's talk about the halftime line brought to you by bookies.com. The Houston Rockets are favored by 5.5 points in the second half. They, of course, lead it by 2. Right now, it's actually, I think it was Rockets by 5 at the start of the game. Houston minus 260 on the money line. Thunder are plus 210. Kind of like that plus 210, actually, for the Thunder with it being this close.
Yeah.
And it being the money line. Like, I don't think, like, the Thunder being favorites really helps you that much, because I think if Houston wins, it's in a blowout. But don't take our advice. Take the advice of Adam Thompson and Mark Stroutman on bookies.com/NBA. All right, we are starting the third quarter here, according to the broadcast, and should be a really interesting third quarter. I mean, to me, this is where Houston has got to win this game. They have largely dominated in third quarters in this series.
Well, and Game 5, I think, is prototypical there, where they went on that huge turnover-fueled run, and that really helped the Rockets put the Thunder away in what looked like it might be closing out the series, and instead it really was not.
Yeah, and I think part of why we've seen so many turnovers from the Thunder is because they're not guarding Dort, and so there's just not that much room to attack. When they do get it to Dort, he's hit. You can't imagine that he would continue to shoot and score like this, as he has with all that space, as they're showing now in this montage. And so then the question will be, Billy Donovan, despite Dort's excellent first half, did not close with him. And James Harden, particularly when Dort is off the floor, he's really got to take advantage. And if James Harden can have a great second half here, I like the Rockets. If he continues to kind of be then Chris Paul can win it for him at the end.
And yes, I know OKC did better in the non-shooter minutes in the first quarter. I think they should have started the half with him, but they should definitely go to him quickly if they're not going to start with him.
Westbrook posting up immediately on Shea. Shea pulls the chair on him, but is called for the foul. I didn't see a lot of contact live on this one.
No, I think it could have been a no call.
Yeah, where's the foul on that? Maybe the refs looked at film at halftime and said we need to give the Rockets a foul call here after that Chris Paul play.
Russell Westbrook's shot chart so far: 3 of 4 in the restricted area, 1 of 2 from mid-range, and nothing anywhere else. He has not attempted a 3. Westbrook also has only 1 turnover and only 1 assist.
Yeah, his role has been reduced a little bit, and I do like him focusing on posting up a little bit more, going at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So quick start to the quarter for the Rockets. They lead by 4. Adams looking for Gallo off the sharp angle DHO. Tucker switches onto it. Harden with the steal. Adams failed to seal him off. Here come the Rockets. This is Covington. Gets it to the corner. Westbrook not a threat to shoot there. He'll attack Adams. Tries to create space. Loses it. gets it back.
Yeah, it was
And what do they call it? Yeah, a double dribble. Scott Foster called it about 5 seconds late. Billy Donovan and Chris Paul went completely insane there, and yeah, that's absolutely a double dribble. Here's Paul finding Gallo on the pick and pop. That's short. Harden looking to push it. Dort with the step-up screen by Gordon. Back to Gordon. He is way out there for three. Eric Gordon has hit his last three-pointers now. Got started with the corner three and then two really deep ones. 7-point Rockets lead. Fantastic start for them. Shea, Dort along the baseline. Tucker with the help. Do they get the charge? No, it's going to be an and one for Adams. Yeah, minimal contact there. Tucker was not in the path of Dort as best I could tell with that terrible camera angle. If we get one of these Chris Paul fouls from that terrible camera angle, like my head may just completely explode at that point.
And hopefully Harden's okay. PJ Tucker fell back pretty close to full force on the back of Harden's knee, his left knee.
Steven Adams, never a great free thrower. Always interesting when he matches up with the Rockets. Every other piece of that trade for Harden is long gone at this point. That pick initially came to the Rockets. It was traded in exchange for Kyle Lowry as Westbrook attacks Gallo and misses the layup. And now, is that a fourth on Covington? Bad reach-in by Robert Covington.
Yeah, that
Unless
is
they got Westbrook.
Foul. No, they gave it to Covington. That's his fourth.
Oof. The first one seemed a pretty bad call. That one from Covington, I couldn't see a lot of contact, but we never are going to get the angle on it seems. Paul, pick and pop, Gallo, swing it. Gilgeous-Alexander goes for the short floater. I thought he had the three instead. Harden looking to attack Dort. Now he's going to try him in a straight ISO. Steps back on Dort. Way off. Not even close.
Yeah, didn't even touch rim.
There's a reason they've been setting screens for James Harden because he has had zero luck against Dort in isolation. There's the swing. Dort going to attack to his left. Not a good left-handed driver. Much better going to his right. Here's Paul getting past Tucker. Throws it up. Way off balance. Tucker controls, and Paul knocks it out of bounds.
And a benefit of Paul doing that is, I mean, the Rockets probably weren't going to do much in transition anyway, but it allows your team to get set, and he didn't swing at the arms enough to really risk a foul.
Here's Westbrook off the pick and roll. No, they're going to get Harden with the illegal screen. Scott Foster right there with that call. Couldn't really get a good look at what he actually did, of course, though, because
that's Harden's third. And remember, he is pretty reckless for a star offensive player about committing fouls sometimes on both ends.
Paul gets Harden switched onto him. Now they switch again. No advantage gain there. Dort closed by Covington. Crossover. Nice try on the finish, but he gets blocked. Adams blew the hook shot. He had no one around him.
Yeah, it was point blank.
Westbrook looking to push it. He had Covington behind him. Now he gets it back. He wants to take Adams. Adams will back off here. Westbrook pulls up. Yes.
And that was in rhythm, but I think you do concede that shot.
Yeah. Here's Gallo driving on Harden. Harden falls down. Adams with the easy layup in the dunker spot.
That would have been Harden's fourth, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know if Harden tripped or tripped himself. Yeah, again, Harden, Westbrook's trying to attack, and Harden, he throws it back to Harden. He's standing at half court. Here's Westbrook. Nice, strong drive. Man, Gilgeous-Alexander just cannot defend in isolation at all. Now they want to post up Gallo on Westbrook. Not an advantage matchup. Tucker with the double team. Gallo in retreat. Nice play. What a play by Tucker to double team and then get back and intercept the very pass that he forced. Now Harden tries to draw the foul. Dort reached in. Not good discipline there. We'll see whether this is a shooting foul or not.
Yeah, and Harden was already losing his balance before the contact occurred, but it still looked like a foul to me on Dort.
I kind of like
And
that move by Westbrook, like palm the ball way away from your body and then just go that direction. You can kind of just get your momentum started on your drive a little bit better than if you have two hands on the ball and get the ball out in front.
and you brought up on the previous possession Harden catching the ball around half court. Harden's level of activity when he does not have the ball has been a criticism from me since his OKC days. To be honest, we're going back really, really far, and at times, including the end of Game 6, Russell Westbrook's presence exacerbates that because there's another player on the floor who has the ball in his hands a lot.
Yeah, and that's if you want to make the argument for new coaching in Houston, I think just not letting James Harden and Russell Westbrook get away with the dumb shit that they do, I think is your argument for why that could improve things. 8-point Houston lead here. Chris Paul needs to get going now for OKC. Pick and roll. Tucker switches onto him. Paul wants to attack. Backs up. Schroeder is in for Gallo. And the three from Dort. The Dortress. We're gonna start using that one. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Finally, a possession of individual defense from Shea.
And this will be an interesting jump ball.
Yeah, Gordon has extremely long arms, as does Gilgeous-Alexander. Both of those guys with around 7-foot wingspans for guards.
And this has been a +3 so far for Houston without Schroeder on the floor.
That Dort 3 was massive, and they get the jump ball. Paul against Covington. He likes this matchup. We saw at the end of Game 6. Pick and roll. Paul rejects the screen. Leaves it for Dort. Dort with the dunk. No, he's rejected by Covington. 5-on-4, and the Euro foul given by Schroeder.
And remember, Covington went for that block and got it with 4 fouls. He could have potentially gotten his 5th there and completely changed this game.
I mean,
But
he's
gets
one
it
of the
clean.
best help defenders I've ever seen as a wing player. And it's so ironic that he really is a poor individual defender. Back to goal for Westbrook. Across the lane. Sets up Tucker. Pass was off. Tucker can't get the shot. Westbrook's passing accuracy has been a problem in this series. Now Shea going to try and attack Harden. Harden in a stance. Left-handed pass over to Schroeder. Help comes from Westbrook. Forces the miss. Westbrook keeps it alive as well. Good defense from Russell Westbrook off that drive. Harden going to try and attack. Everyone gets out of his way. Now they need to set the screen, and they do. Harden tries to turn the corner. Dort, no way. Here's a 3 from Gordon. He finally misses one. Paul wants Harden. Harden gets a hand out. They will give the kick ball, but we've seen that Houston very connected on these switches. They are not letting Steven Adams set the screen and then roll to the basket with inside position, even with Chris Paul, a great passer, trying to find him.
Okay, let's take some of your questions.
Indeed.
So how long do we expect the Morey report on the Chris Paul foul before half? Oh, I mean, within minutes. Oh, that's a good one from Periscope, from Garrett. Has your opinion about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander changed in this series? Do you have him higher than Fox? So, yes, it has. I think that Shai's weakness defending, particularly in isolations, that takes away part of the appeal, especially.
It's been a major disappointment. I thought that he could be better than this, and I think if anything, he's regressed.
And so the idea, I think that the idea that he can be the dominant offensive player in a very good offense. I mean, we're not getting a true representative sample because he's not that guy for the Thunder, but I don't think he's shown consistency enough to create for himself and others. And then the defense has been awful, honestly, for the most part. So yeah, it's weaker, and Houston isn't necessarily the best matchup for him defensively, but he's been so bad.
And I do like Fox better than
I do
him.
too.
Where is D'Antoni coaching next year? You've been thinking New Orleans, right?
I have. If I had to make a prediction, I'd say New Orleans. I think that the connection with David Griffin is real, and I think that he could potentially, shape one side of the ball for them. And I think that's part of it for D'Antoni. I mean, yeah, I'm sure money would be nice, but an opportunity that really excites him, and I could see that roster being something he's like, oh, I can really do something with this. And for his last act as a head coach to have such an intriguing group of players, I think that's more appealing than, let's say, Indiana, though I would be very interested in him getting the Indiana job.
Yeah, both of those organizations, I'm not sure if they're going to pay up. I mean, I think though he would much rather go to New Orleans than Indiana. Oh, this is a good one. Namir, Shane Battier or PJ Tucker, best mid-level exception signing of all time. Well, so Battier, I assume you're talking about in Miami when he signed for the taxpayer mid-level. But actually, I was reminded of this by Hollinger. It's Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups
Oh,
signed for
that's
the mid-level
right.
exception with Detroit way back in the day.
Yeah. But of the modern era, if it's Battier versus Tucker, I think I'll go with Battier. I love PJ Tucker, and you could argue that the overall value, but when you incorporate the role that Battier played for such great teams and that he filled a niche that they just needed somebody to do on championship teams, I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah, Armin asks about Dort on taller players. Yeah, I'm very interested to see that. And if OKC wins, we're about to find out because he's going to guard LeBron James in the next series for sure. You would think.
Yeah, they don't really have that many other guys, and so I agree with you that will be, if it happens, that will be the matchup. We'll learn a lot.
All right, we're back here now. 5-point Rockets lead. They've extended by 3 points here in the first 5 minutes of the third. Robert Covington, another ridiculous defensive game. 3 steals, 3 blocks in 23 minutes. And so Noel is in. Dort remains on the floor. And they got the 3 guards. So Gallo and Adams are out. And they get a walk on Dort. I mean, how many turnovers is that for Dort now? I think
That's 3 for him, 14 for the team.
Yeah. Chris Paul has 4.
15.
Gallo has 4. Jeff Green is in. Harden trying to get the ball. Avoided an offensive foul. Dort will learn to flop on that. Now here's Green in that inverted pick and roll. What a play by Dort. Green now finds Austin Rivers wide open, though, and he can't cash it out. House almost picked up the foul. Now Paul looking to slice into that 5-point lead. Schroeder over Rivers. Way short. Good defense from Rivers, who has defended Schroeder well in the series. Harden in semi-transition. Dort tells Schroeder to get him, and Harden has to take advantage of this. Instead, he gives it up, and now he can't get it back. Why did he give it up? Shoves off. No call. Just get out of his way at this point here. If he's guarded by Schroeder, he's taking him all series. Going to try to get the step back. No, he tries to drive left. Good help from Paul. Rivers has to jacket. Flaming bag. No good. Not
What
a good
rebound.
possession.
Oh,
I think this is going to be Houston ball, though.
It is. Yeah, great hustle from Schroeder diving for the loose ball, but I think partially it falling on him and also Robert Covington being there got the ball out, and that's off Schroeder.
5-1 pick and roll. Green stepping back for the 3 as they go under. And Jeff Green, I mean, off the dribble 3-point shooting for Jeff Green was not on the scouting report before he joined the Houston Rockets. And sorry, I was looking at the wrong TV there. So now we get to see Jeff Green hit a 3.
I was like, oh, Nate turned into a precog. Good for him.
Yeah, my other TV got ahead of my main TV. Here's Schroeder for a 3. Yes, over James Harden. Every time it looks like Houston can push it to double digits, OKC hits a 3 and gets right back. Harden he tried to reject the screen. Dort was ready for it. Now it's Green on the roll. Rivers, he has a third 3 here, and he wasn't close on that one either. Paul against Covington. Likes the matchup. Good help from Rivers to take away the advantage. Schroeder not looking to shoot. Now he'll drive. Gilgeous-Alexander off the driving kick. Tough contest. And it's too tough. They give the foul on House, his 4th.
I didn't see much there from House, personally.
That might actually only be his 3rd. I apologize.
Yeah, I believe that's House's 3rd. Covington has 4. Harden has 3. And nobody on Oklahoma City has more than 2.
Yeah, and if you wonder why we struggle with like the fouls and the how many points guys have sometimes, it's because the box score. First of all, the TV itself, all of the TV is on much more of a delay. I think just because they're worried that you can hear guys swearing on the court way more, and then after that, then we're on more of a delay after that. So the box score though is not limited by that; it just updates immediately. Shea, couple of free throws, 75-72. Here's Green. They'll switch this with Noel. Interesting. I think Harden can draw a foul here. Harden says, Rivers, get out to the three-point line and let me attack. Harden on the step back.
Oof.
Way off.
Not even close.
He has not had the touch on the step back, and that's really because they've been doing pick and roll. I think he maybe has gotten out of rhythm a little bit on those step backs. He shot poorly on threes in the last game as well. Gallo setting the screen. Schroeder wants to attack Harden, who's defended well these last couple of games. That time, though, they caught him napping. The alley-oop was not ready for Noel. Here's Dort on the pump fake for the bucket.
Lou Dort on a pump fake gets two different Rockets to jump. Honestly, he could have gone straight up and gotten Robert Covington as fifth.
Harden has not been able to get going here in the third. He'll drive it. That's going to be a charge on Schroeder. No call either way. Now Harden's behind the plate. 5-on-4. Schroeder looking to push it. Inside out dribble. Dort. Oh, what a play by Rivers. The Dort trying to run him down, and he blocks it. What a play by Dort. Rivers is down on the other side. Gallo. Now they're going to 5-on-4. Dort should just attack. Instead, he takes the three, and it bricks. Hopefully, Rivers is okay. We haven't even seen him. Yeah, now he's all right. He's back in the action. What an exchange. Here's Harden finding Green on the roll. House off the closeout. Uh-oh. That was almost a complete ending of Dennis Schroeder. Watch this block from Dort. Rivers tried to go for the dunk, and he did. Did he even block it?
Dort
did Rivers
block
just?
It was a miss. It was a sprite. It was a missed dunk.
Wow. I mean, maybe he heard Dort coming. I mean, if he just goes in for a normal 1-foot layup, you got no problems there. He went for the highlight dunk and turned into a low light.
And remember when Houston had a chance? They were up 7 and they had the ball to push this game to double digits. And now OKC, it's a single possession game, and it will be after House's free throws too.
Yep, Billy Donovan with the Steve Kerr timeout, giving us another chance to tell you for the final time about our friends at bookies.com.
Yeah, and what makes them a natural fit for the NBA cast is that synergy of information. So bookies.com gives you the edge and the knowledge to crush online bookies, whether you're betting spreads, money lines, totals, or parlays. They have that all on their awesome live updating site. So you can get it all in one place, bookies.com/NBA, or alternatively, you can follow them on Twitter. You should do both, @bookies.
Yeah, you get Adam Thompson, get Mark Stratman, get the best deals if betting is legal in your state. And just get familiar with them because betting will be legal in your state online, hopefully, soon enough. Okay. Thank you to Spartla, who let me know that Modelo and Corona, Modelo having my favorite commercials in the bubble, and Corona, perhaps my least favorite, are owned by the same company.
I wonder if they have the same ad agency, though. They might not.
I mean, yeah.
Probably,
well,
though.
I mean, I would imagine that just the overall company just bought a bunch of ads, and they're alternating between the two brands' ads. Should the Rockets be attacking Gallo rather than Noel in pick and roll? I think part of the reason it's Noel is because Jeff Green is a solid roll man, right? If
and
you've
a better
got,
screener.
Yes. Yeah, and so if you've got Covington, not a great screener, poor decision maker driving to the rim, I think that's who Gallo has mostly been guarding. But yeah, I'd like to see them attack him more. What is your concern level, Danny, right now with how James Harden looks? It does not look like he's going to be exercising his playoff demons in this game right now.
with Harden, I'd say I'm probably at a 7. I mean, he has had some nice assists, but he hasn't really shown that kind of burst. And I mean, he's always basically in the precipice of foul control and foul trouble. And remember, we talked about how this was Houston's chance to really build up a lead. They have not done that. This is a 2-point margin, and it could go to 3 after a house free throw. And Harden's going to have to sit at some point.
He's got 4 turnovers and 2 made field goals right now. Only a 7 of 7 night at the line is remotely keeping him into respectability. And remember, of course, it was a 2 for 11 game in that inexplicable Game 6 loss with Kawhi out in 2017.
That's true.
And yeah, he is going to sit soon, you would think. Westbrook actually has been better and only 1 assist, but 14 points, 6 of 10. And he'll certainly take on the big role if they need him to. That may not be a good thing.
And here we go. Unless this is a long lead-in for some reason. So, and also remember, I've been bringing this up a lot. It happened in Game 6. Other than I think it was the end of the third, Houston has really struggled as much as Harden has been limited in the minutes where he sat. They've leaned a lot on Russell Westbrook, and we'll see if that continues.
3-point lead for the Houston Rockets. As much as we're killing them, they do have the lead right now. Schroeder, as they switch Covington onto him. Gallinari, and he's run into by House. Gallo, another one of these master floppers. He just hasn't had the ball that much in this series. But, that's another one of those plays where, oh, hey, if the guy is, flying by me to my left, maybe I'll just, drive right into an opening. No, I think I'll just dribble right into the guy and draw a foul instead.
Yeah.
Here's Gallo off the screen over Tucker. A little short. Harden rebounding. Let's see if he can do better here. He usually has more pep after a timeout. Does not appear to have more pep right now. In fact, their ATO is messed up here. They don't know what they're running. 3 guys setting a screen for Harden. Noel stepping out. Dort picks him up. Nobody was open for the pass, though. What a terrible possession this is. Now Harden just has to jacket. That is just a miserable ATO possession. And now Schroeder, nicely closed down by House. With Paul out of the game, Gallo on the drive. Gets it to Shea. Shea on the drive past Harden. Into the lane over Green, and he hits it.
And we have a 1-point margin. And you wonder, maybe they're going to get Harden going off ball. No, that doesn't usually happen with doing a handoff here.
Yeah, Dort tries to blow that up, and will they give? No, they're going to point to out of bounds, but they're in the bonus, so it will be two shots, but not 3 for Harden, although he is arguing for it vociferously. I mean, look at this effort from Dort. He got through 3 screens, and a good job by Noel stepping out. One of the problems with setting 3 screens in a row is that then there's really nowhere for everyone to roll at once, and so there wasn't anyone open when Noel stepped out. Missed free throw now from James Harden. And you thought maybe this would be it, that James Harden would turn the corner in the playoffs. He has had a couple of excellent games, but he is averaging 32 points for the series, but only a couple of really dominant ones. Game 5 was certainly a tour de force from him, but that even continued a pattern of, after long breaks, Harden usually seems to play better. They switch Tucker onto Schroeder. Schroeder tries to attack hard baseline. Yes! Nice play there. They set up some screens. Tucker was getting ready for it. Schroeder rejects the screen. That's one of his favorite moves. Hard driving right-hand move, rejecting the screen. Here's Westbrook off the glass. Man, can you imagine if Russell Westbrook beats the Thunder with jump shots? Schroeder trying to attack House. Gets the screen from Gallo. Looking for him. Good job by House fronting the post. They give up on that. Schroeder attacking Tucker again. Help comes from Green. Underneath Noel. Oh, he's hacked. Pushed by Tucker. And a great pass from Schroeder. Past the helping Green. and Noel with a finish.
And
Tied.
I brought up in the lead in that fouls could be an important factor in this game. I mentioned PJ Tucker, but that's only his second. But I'm never going to write that off as a possibility because of how this series can go.
Yeah, it's twice now that Tucker has given up that hard right-handed drive to Schroeder, and Schroeder's had success against Tucker. Tucker, great moving his feet for his size, but against Schroeder, he can be a little overmatched. Missed free throw from Noel, and we're tied at 80. Harden on the bench. Here's Westbrook. Missed house wide open underneath. Now he just goes into the lane instead. Left-handed extension by Russell Westbrook going right at Chris Paul. Schroeder uses the Derrick Rose fake back out to Shea, and he walked. That was Westbrook with a big closeout on Gilgeous-Alexander. I thought Alexander had the three, did not take it.
Yeah, he didn't need to hesitate there. Westbrook was coming, but he was a little bit late.
Russell Westbrook directing traffic. We can't see it, though. Now they screen off ball for Gordon. Gordon wants to attack Gilgeous-Alexander. Back to Westbrook. He goes right into the lane. Sets up Jeff Green. Good pass. Good 3. 5-point game. Russell Westbrook has come in for 2 buckets and a 3-pointer assist to put Houston back up after OKC had tied it.
And this is a +5 for Houston during the minutes when James Harden has been off the floor. Absolutely massive.
Schroeder trying to screen for Paul. No advantage gained. Paul going to attack Jeff Green. Schroeder, his 3 over House is way off. Westbrook does not look to push it. They do get the 2-for-1 barely, about a 5-second differential, so it may not mean anything in the end. Westbrook wants Gilgeous-Alexander. Let's see where the help comes from. Paul is at the nail directing traffic. Westbrook back to goal. Leaves it out for Gordon. 5 on the clock. Gordon right down the lane. Paul with the strip. He's got time now attacking House in transition. Pulls up for the mid-ranger. Chris Paul couldn't get it. And Paul not quite as comfortable at full speed as he is just kind of meandering into the mid-range, and also not as comfortable from the left elbow and couldn't get that shot.
Yeah, and Paul, a lot of times you get it in your head of like, I need to shoot quickly, get to a spot and shoot. He did have a little bit more time, but I totally get why Paul didn't think that he did.
Let's see here. Yeah, Albert noting that Shea has turned down 3 3-pointers this half.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. Max Parnas, a comp for Darius Baisley.
Does a little bit with the ball in his hands. The jump shot isn't terrible. A little bit slight. I don't have a good one, do you?
Yeah, because as a power forward size guy, I mean, he does have true power forward size, but can also handle the ball. He's an okay shooter, but not a great one. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think in the comments? Interested to hear some ideas for you guys. But yeah, nothing's coming to mind for me as far as guys who are in the NBA right now. Let me actually think about that if you want to answer the next one, Danny.
Let's see. Why has Shea been underperforming in this series? I mean, defensively, I think he's just hasn't been as stout as you'd expect. Then offensively, there have been times, I think it was game 2, where he attacked the mismatch, but they have a lot of other ball handlers. They have a lot of other players. So I think he's been a little bit too hesitant, tentative. I don't think it's necessarily anything that Houston is doing in particular to impact Shea offensively. But yeah, defensively, they have personnel.
He's had some really big games in this series, and
he
does have 16 points on 5 of 7 from the field. I do agree with Albert that he's not shooting enough threes. Yeah, let me see. What is his game log for this series? It's been a lot. I mean, yeah, he had 31 points, 23,
a couple big ones.
18. But yeah, he's had some stinkers though as well. He's really only had 2 good games and 4 bad ones.
Well, and worth noting that 2 of his stinkers were in 2 of their 3 losses. And then he only had 1 game where I thought he played well and lost, and that was game 2 where he was great.
You know, Thaddeus Young maybe, like a young Thaddeus Young for Baisley.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Although I think he has more ball skills and better shooting touch. And Young didn't really develop as a defender until he got to Indiana.
Oh, somebody said Anthony Randolph. Randolph
He
is
does. Yeah, lefty, like kind of
that.
similar body type. Yeah,
That's
but
yeah, yeah. I mean, Baisley is. I think he has a better head on his shoulders than Randolph does. But yeah, that's not a terrible one.
yep. Yeah, I think that one is actually pretty decent. Yeah, I'm still scrolling through here to see if anyone else jogs my memory.
Eric Blasco asked, "Do you try Dort on Westbrook with Harden looking so bad?" No, I think part of the reason Harden's looking bad is because Dort is on him, and so you do it that way. And also, Dort, he's strong, but I think that you keep him on Harden as long as Harden's on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the thought is he's only played 24 minutes. He only has 3 fouls. But just play him more and play him on both Westbrook during these minutes and Harden.
Yeah, if Dort has the stamina, absolutely.
Okay, so we're back here. Critical fourth quarter. Another fourth quarter in a game 7. Thunder have their best lineup on the floor with Harden off the floor. Schroeder stepping back. Oh, the other reason that you don't want Dort on the floor when Harden is off is because then you can get away with all 3 of the guards. Westbrook waves him away. Schroeder, Westbrook trying to go through him. Steps through, missed the layup. Gallo draws the loose ball foul.
And I think they're calling that on Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, and that was actually a slightly more legitimate foul from Gallo.
Yeah, it was.
But the missed layup from Westbrook never really had an amazing touch around the basket. Paul getting past Tucker into the lane. Finishing Chris Paul. Again, I mean, I have not seen Chris Paul finish at the rim like this in years. And he's doing it because he's able to recognize that nobody's going to go get his shot in the air. Gordon against Gallo. Blows by. Adams with the help. Too late. Once again, Steven Adams just not at the highest echelon as a rim protector. Here's Schroeder. Tries to get to that right hand against House. Underneath to Adams, not looking to shoot. Now it's Shea against Green. Green trying to force him off that right-handed drive. Now here's the drive from Paul. He stepped to the end line. Again, man, how many of these have we had?
And I believe that is the 5th turnover on Chris Paul in this game.
Yeah, that's a really nice finish there from Chris Paul with Robert Covington out of the game. He's really the only guy who's going to go and get that.
Well, and I really like they showed a highlight of the finish from Eric Gordon. Great job using the glass, getting the angle perfect on that.
Still a 5-point Houston advantage. You would really want to push this up a little higher if you want to be comfortable going down the end. Green screening for Gordon. Now it's Westbrook. Dort is back into the game. Westbrook getting by him. What a move. Blowing by Dort. Russell Westbrook looking explosive here tonight. Now it's Covington on Paul. Paul likes the matchup. Gets by him to his left. They help off of Dort from Westbrook. No advantage gained. Now it's Dort again. Westbrook is there. Dort with his own crossover into the lane and the foul on Jeff Green.
Yeah, completely wrong foots Russell Westbrook. And then Green tries to help from the backside, but isn't in position at all. 2 free throws for Lou Dort. His overall line so far, 8 of 17 from the field, 5 of 9 from 3, and I believe these are his 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
And still a good foul, though. Dort, a iffy free throw shooter. You mentioned that Jeff Green was not there to help. You know why? Steven Adams grabbed his arm as he was trying to come over.
So
and help.
I guess that doesn't count as the Gortat, or does it? No,
that's really more of the.
Action.
That's probably Andrew Bogut was the foremost practitioner of that one. Although Adams certainly well known for both the Gortat and the Bogut. Dort does get a free throw. Actually, 2 free throws for him. Westbrook attacking Steven Adams. Gets him on the switch. Pulls for the jumper on the baseline. House tips in over Gallo, who did not get a box out.
And that's the benefit of not having any traditional defensive rebounders there on the floor. Terrible box out by Gallo.
Here's Paul getting into the lane. Dort on the cut for the dunk.
Second great cut by Lou Dort in this game.
Yeah, Westbrook came over for the help. It was House's job to get inside of Dort, but the cut was there too quickly. Westbrook, again, they're going with him every time. He wants it back in the post against Schroeder. Likes to go right shoulder in these situations. Back out, Green. His three over Adams is short. Covington tried for it. Dort got it. If Chris Paul would teach him to fall down in that situation. Here's Paul pulling up over Green. Yes, Chris Paul. And Mike D'Antoni with a timeout. Surely Harden will return now.
Yeah, he has to. And it looked, the Rockets had built a lead with Harden off the floor. Remember, it was a tie game when he left, and now it's down to +2. And so we might get ourselves another crunch time game 7.
Well, and it really makes me happy to see these young guys. First, it was Michael Porter giving them good minutes after he had reached unplayable status. Dort, after the 3 out of 16 game, 0 for 9 from 3 with a bunch of turnovers. Like, he's been able to get back on the court, leading the Thunder in scoring with 27 points and 3 turnovers.
Question from Corey: who will have a better career, Lou Dort or Gary Trent Jr.? I think Gary Trent Jr. has better tools. Dort is very well situated for the series, and his overall defense has been a little bit under the radar this season. But Trent is a better shooter, and I think he's done a really good job defensively. Now, Dort's strength makes Harden, maybe I would argue, his best possible cover of a star player. So I would be interested, if OKC makes it to the next round, LeBron James is pushing it even further. But I think Gary Trent's better.
Yeah, now Lou Dort is definitely way better defensively than Trent. And if you want to get a little bit of context for Dort and what his chances are of improving as a shooter, 70% from the line in college. He's 79% on 50 attempts this year. So maybe there's hope for it. Like, his shot, it doesn't, he kind of shoots this moon ball, but he doesn't look like, it's not like Tony Allen, Kid Gilchrist type of level.
Yeah.
Or Andre Robertson type of level. So Dort to me has the higher upside.
Oh, somebody brought up Michael Beasley as a comp for Baisley. Yeah, in terms of skill set, that's not terrible. I mean, they're different players in other respects, but yeah, that's not a bad one either.
Will the Thunder cash in on Dort soon and a trade, considering he might be overvalued after this series on a super cheap contract? It doesn't really make sense because he is he's got 3 more years after this one. He is a young asset. This is a rebuild. Certainly going to a Game 7 would make you think they'd be more likely to keep this team together for next year, particularly if they win this game. But as I mentioned, this is a rebuild, and usually you wouldn't trade a young guy like that for some other future asset. Usually you would trade someone like that for a veteran, but they don't really have need of that because they're in a rebuilding project. So I wouldn't anticipate that happening.
Yeah, and you kind of figure out what a team would give up for Dort. And also, he's young enough that he can be a part of the next stage and not so good that he's going to push them. Like, let's say Presti wants to go to the extreme and wants to be weak next year. I don't think Dort and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander move them to like the 10th best team as opposed to like the 3rd or 4th.
Has Baisley even played in this half? I don't think he has.
No,
huh?
I don't think he has.
Yeah, that's I think giving him some time over Steven Adams is something they could have looked at.
I agree. I mean, hell, I argued Baisley should be starting. I think that was game 4. I started arguing that.
Yeah. All right, so we'll get a look at who's on the floor now. And it does not include James Harden yet. Westbrook does have it going. Gordon against Dort. I'd go back to Westbrook here instead, and then Gordon just throws it away. Paul with a great steal. Schroeder attacking Westbrook. Nice finish using the body. And OKC has tied it yet again at 91. They tied it at 80. Houston had a 5-0 run. Now it's right back. Houston led it by 7 briefly. Westbrook against Schroeder. Wants to attack Baisley, who's now in the game. Out to Covington. Swing it to House. He's wide open. Way short. House has not shot it well in this series. Now Paul, as Gordon gets through the screen, they avoid that switch. Now they have to switch after a better screen a little later in the clock. Paul attacking Covington. That's the matchup he likes. Another 3 from Chris Paul for the lead.
And that's the shot Chris Paul was hitting in the fourth quarter of Game 6. Covington leaning back a little bit and Paul just pulling up.
Yeah, and Paul going to his left, which is not his favorite side. Now, Schroeder is called for the blocking foul on Westbrook, but should be a non-shooting affair. And now Westbrook is very upset. And is he going to get teed up?
Are they not going to give him a tech? He tried to take the ball from the ref.
Yeah, I thought he knocked the ball out of the ref's hands. That would be surprising, but he's out of the game here in favor of Harden. I didn't see what had Westbrook so upset. He got the foul call.
Well, it wasn't an air punch, so he's okay.
Maybe there's a trip from Schroeder. Schroeder, of course, has the reputation. And now a little bit of talk here about jostling between Dort and Harden. Let's see.
Oh, Schroeder took the ball from Westbrook and handed it to the ref.
Harden on the immediate floater, and Miles somehow got that to go. That was not a good shot. I think he was looking for the foul. Back to 1. Paul is guarded by Gordon. Westbrook, how long is he going to sit now? They lob it in. Adams right out to Dort. He's got a 3. Oh, just in and out, and Adams can't get the tip. Covington setting the screen. Harden swings it. Good job by Dort getting back. Dort says go back to Covington. Adams didn't hear him fast enough, and they give up the 3. Dort was very concerned about getting back to Harden, but Adams did not anticipate that, and they give up a wide open 3. What a killer. They trail now by 2.
And Covington now 5 of 10 on threes for 15 of his 17 points.
Yeah. But now is he going to give up another 3 to Chris Paul on this possession? Paul forced to drive left into the lane. Covington blocks him from behind, but he's called for the foul.
And that is Robert Covington's 5th.
Yeah, Covington got him on the head, and Covington saying to his teammates, hey, guys, I'm forcing him left. Where's the help here? And I think that's the point. Tucker stepped over and then backed away, and Covington's it's your job to step up there. But Tucker was concerned about the pass. Yeah, clear foul on Covington. And Chris Paul now up to 17 points. Make it 18 with the free throw and 12 assists. One of his bigger assist games we've seen from him in this series. For Houston, Westbrook 20 points, 9 of 15. Harden has 15 points. He is 3 of 13, 8 of 9 from the foul line. Covington going right back to the well there. Baisley switching on to Harden. They get it out to Covington. A little slow with that pass from Harden. They'll try it again, though. There's the behind-the-back pass. Paul rotating. Pass fake from Covington. 3 from Covington. 99-96.
And he basically ball-racked Chris Paul there. Paul got out. Covington completely unfazed by the contest.
Yeah, great pass fake from Covington. He's been making better decisions these last few games. So now Covington calls for Tucker to get up and guard. And so Chris Paul says, hey, go post up Steven Adams against Covington. Let's see if the help comes. It does from Tucker. Adams tries to go through his hand. Can't get it. Back to Harden, who is not looking to push it. All the Rockets were ready to run. Harden was not. Harden has room on Dort under the screen. Man, James Harden just does not have it. Now House is behind. Here's Schroeder looking to attack. They got to keep him off the right hand here. They do so, and it's back to Paul against Gordon. Paul, they can't find Covington. He's way down at the baseline, so Paul just has to go at Gordon. Paul into the lane. Nice drop from House. It squirts out free. Schroeder, Baisley's 3. Short. Dort with a great rebound past Harden, and then he throws it into the backcourt. No. Well, a foul is called on James Harden. They said that Harden pushed him. Scott Foster had it way over on the other side and points at James Harden, who can't believe it.
And remember this foul. This is a close game. That is Harden's 4th. 4 does not put him in difficulty now, but if this game goes to overtime or if he picks up another one, could be huge.
Let's see. Harden, little bit of a shove. We'll see it from this angle. Just barely makes contact, and Dort, that negated a turnover right there, and we'll get a timeout. Westbrook has got to return now, too. So 99-96. Just another nail-biting Game 7. I love it, man. This is awesome.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the Rockets lineups. Who would be out there for you for Oklahoma City?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think, do they go with that lineup that's been the best clutch lineup in the NBA? I mean, your question is, I mean, I probably would take. Are they going to just leave Gallo out? My guess would be that they're going to just stick with. They'll probably take Baisley out, put Shea back in. I'm guessing they may just leave Gallo on the bench. Like, he's been negative 14, 2 of 6. Had a great game the last game, but even then, he didn't play that many minutes. I think that Billy Donovan ultimately doesn't trust him that much. And Gallo, it's not been a great playoff player over the years. I mean, that may. And I would probably rather go Gallo over Steven Adams and give Chris Paul some room to work, but because I think Adams' impact has been relatively muted as a rim protector. But my prediction is that that's what they're going to do. And if they lose this game in particular and Gallo does not close Game 7, he's a free agent at the end of this year. I would imagine they're going to try to re-sign him. That could be something that would weigh on. I mean, like Nikola Mirotic, for example, he just decided to leave the continent entirely. I don't think Gallo's going to do that, but Mirotic just left because he wasn't playing by the end of that series against the Raptors last year.
Question from AJ03. What caused Ben McLemore to fall out of the rotation? Is he that big a drop-off from House? Yes, as a defensive player, McLemore was getting drilled in isolations and pretty much everything defensively. So, yeah, he basically had to come out of the rotation.
Yep, absolutely. Now, he is their most reliable three-point shooter. He also makes some mistakes in their switching system, so he doesn't have great size and not that intelligent of a player. He's more of a regular season guy, which hey, credit to him for at least being a regular season guy instead of a no-season guy as he had been in his career before this.
Right, and also think about that the Rockets have only given about 50 total minutes to bench players, Green, House, and Rivers. They don't need McLemore. And like adding depth to the rotation, their starters are playing an appropriate amount of minutes. I don't know that he makes anything too much better. And House, it's not like you're stressing House to play this many minutes.
See some other questions. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
So they're talking about Baisley over Gallo. So I think you play the three guards, Dort at the 4, and then the question is who is the fifth guy? And I think I would go with Baisley, and I would consider Nerlens, I would consider Adams, probably not Gallo. And that's pretty incredible considering Gallinari's situation.
So we're back here now. OKC ball. Did they challenge that foul? Maybe that's why there was a timeout.
I don't see it. My log doesn't have it as a challenge, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, that was a Thunder timeout.
Yeah.
So Westbrook is back. They get it in to Schroeder. Gilgeous-Alexander is not back in yet. Oh, yeah, he is. There he is. He'll drive it to the foul line. Tried to draw the foul on Harden. Couldn't. Harden with a incredible rebound from his butt. Maybe a little tongue-in-cheek there. And Houston looking to build it to a 2-possession advantage. Every bucket is going to be absolutely drawing blood from a stone right now. Harden against Baisley. Late clock. Westbrook, his 3 as Schroeder helped off of him, could not make him pay.
Speaking of blood from a stone.
Now it's Schroeder attacking against PJ Tucker. Oh, it just squirts out as Tucker gives up a right-hand drive to Schroeder. Again, he's got to really come up with a new strategy against him. Now it's Harden against Baisley. Backs up, attacks, swings it. Westbrook on the hard drive, back to Harden, who is not ready. Harden doesn't move without the ball. They swing it to Covington, flaming bag to him. Gordon will have to create. His 3 off the screen. Short. Covington keeping it alive, but it goes right to Schroeder, and now Covington's behind the play.
Keep an eye on these low-resistance switches by the Thunder.
Dort all day. Covington could not bother him from behind, and it's tied 99 apiece. Covington fought so hard for the offensive rebound, but it meant that he was wide open. Dort was, as Covington was behind the play. Now they want to get Westbrook in the post against Schroeder. Westbrook attacking off the glass. Not even close. He thought he got hit on the elbow. OKC looking for the lead. It's Shea. Off the Adams screen. They don't switch it. No low resistance switch there. Now the alley-oop. Adams was not ready. They're looking weak side for Dort. That's not there. It'll be Shea and ISO against Tucker. Tucker getting a little handsy. No call. The three is way short. Adams with the save.
That's a shot clock violation.
Oh, no, they're saying that it hit. The OKC is saying it hit, and we'll see if this gets reviewed or not. Good job, though, to stop it here and review this. Scott Foster seems to think he knows what should happen, but I don't know if his fellow referees agree with him. Yeah, that hit the rim.
Yeah.
So is this going to be... I mean, because I think Shea committed a backcourt violation here. He's established in the front court. Yeah, I think that's what D'Antoni is saying. Shea, now, when Adams saved it, maybe you can say that shouldn't be backcourt, where that's a controlled save instead of a tip. But then Shea starts in the front court and then lands in the backcourt going to try and grab it. And yeah, it will be Houston ball. Yeah, it's short here. Adams also is pretty close.
And now Chris Paul's coming in. I wonder who he's coming in for.
Chris Paul is on 36 minutes so far, so he'll get up to 40.
And Gallo's in. So no Schroeder, no Baisley.
Yeah, Gallo is guarding Russell Westbrook, which is not the matchup you might want. Harden just going to go one-on-one against Dort. It's not been profitable for him. Attacks to his left, down the lane. Layup by James Harden, and then he's hit in the face afterwards. He's sprinting back now. It's Dort looking to attack with confidence. Now along the baseline. Stopped by Covington. Shea on the attack against Gordon. Gordon with the defense on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Gordon attacking Gallo. Gallo tried to draw the charge. He gets the charge.
And remember on the last possession, I think Harden tried to foul Lou Dort twice. They didn't call either one of them.
Yeah. I got bad news for you, Danny. That's a bullshit call on Gallo. The only contact is with Gallo's forearms, and he shoves him and falls backwards. Watch this.
I think D'Antoni still has his challenge, right?
And that's one where it's going to be borderline. That Giannis play that got overturned, I mean, this is kind of the same ilk.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
But this isn't the same officiating crew either. The Thunder have taken this time out, however, so there is not a challenge. Did we miss the challenge in the first quarter when we weren't watching? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Remember, D'Antoni in Game 6 used his challenge on the foul, and it was unsuccessful. The Covington foul on Chris Paul that gave him the 2 winning free throws. All right, we're going to turn off the stats and the Twitter here just so it doesn't get ruined. That is a huge call, though, and not one that I particularly care for.
And it's interesting, people talking about, like, oh, it's not worth challenging. Well, I mean, we're this late in a game, and every possession really matters. I think that's the argument here, is that...
Yeah, he's not in his path, and he only makes contact with his forearm and shoves himself backwards. Yeah, he's not in the direction that Eric Gordon is going. And also, like, he's just passing it off, man. Like, so yeah, they are going to review this now. He was not in the restricted area. I'm very interested to see what this ends up being. I'm going to try and listen for the actual explanation. This is a crucial call, too, because if they change this to a blocking foul, are they in the bonus right now?
Yes. Oh, the Rockets, it's listing it that they aren't. I think that OKC might have. No, yeah. OKC only has 1 foul.
Right, yeah, but Houston has 5.
Yes, that's what I was looking at.
Any interesting questions in there?
Would this be a jump ball if overturned? No, it would be they would probably change this to a defensive foul.
Yeah.
If overturned. But it would probably be a non-shooting foul considering Gordon passed out of it, so it would be Rockets ball and add a foul to Gallinari.
Yeah.
Who also shouldn't be on the floor for the record.
I mean, he is one of their best players. I'm not that against it, but we could disagree on that. I mean, there are no easy decisions here, and the refs are definitely taking a long time with this one.
Well, I mean, what I'll say is this: the four guards and Dort. I think there's a clear argument for all four of them to be on the floor, and then the fifth guy. Yes, there are arguments for all that, but I don't think having Adams and Gallo on the floor. But maybe they're not going to go that way from here on out.
Yes, Gallo is moving his torso into his path. He's not in his path when the contact occurs. And then he also uses the forearm to shove off and create the fall. Yeah, look at that. He never even hits his body. Unsuccessful challenge, he says.
Wow.
Hate it. Hate it. It's not basketball. It's a good challenge. So they've now charged this timeout to Houston rather than OKC, according to Scott Foster. I mean, that's a massive call. I mean, if we look back on it here and OKC wins this game, to think of the Chris Paul foul at the end of the half and that one.
Also, now OKC has a use it or lose it foul that I don't know if they want to use it, but they might.
The timeout, you mean, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they had a long enough timeout. I imagine they won't use this one. Unless, maybe if they get the ball knocked out of bounds in the next 10 seconds, they will.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 2-point deficit for OKC. Paul trying to attack Gordon. Puts him in the mix, stepping back. Gordon with the stop. He's had 2 straight stops. He got Gilgeous-Alexander, and then he gets Chris Paul. Here's Westbrook. He's going to attack Gallo. Into the lane, over his shoulder. Not a good shot. Paul gets it to Schroeder in transition. Schroeder along the baseline. Rejected by Harden.
And great timing there by Harden, knowing when Schroeder was going to go for that righty layup. It just puts his hand right there. Harden's hands are wonderful.
That's a great strip by Eric Gordon, man. Knowing what Paul wanted to get back to. But still time for OKC. Schroeder off the screen to tie it is short. Gordon on the rebound. And he gets the foul call on Paul, but they're not in the last 2 minutes, so it's really of little import.
And the Thunder aren't even close to the bonus.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, that probably hurts Houston because it takes away a fast break opportunity.
Yeah, and CP only has 2 personal fouls, so that doesn't move the needle much.
So who are they going to go to now with Houston? Could they try and involve Harden? Is it going to be Westbrook? Is it going to be Gordon? They got Harden in the post here, but Dort forces him out. They want to screen for Eric Gordon to the ball. He cuts, not there. Handoff back to Harden. He can't get it. Here's the drive from Westbrook. Left hand, stopped by Schroeder. Westbrook has missed 2 layups. Now Schroeder has Tucker. He's profited that matchup. Sets up Dort. Dort did not want it. Now Tucker forcing Schroeder to his left hand. They'll switch this screen. Schroeder on the drive. Around Covington. He blew the layup. He wanted the foul. This feels very much like last night, doesn't it? Westbrook wants to get it against Paul. Whole side is open. Back to goal. Adams coming over to help. Westbrook sets up Tucker. His corner 3. Huge shot. In and out. Covington blows the layup. Chris Paul got the strip just enough. And now Covington's down again. They got to push it here. Schroeder. Shea is wide open for 3 and they lead.
And after 2 blown clutch possessions by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he hits a catch-and-shoot 3 to put OKC up 1 with 1:42 remaining. And
the offensive glass. Houston has given up 2 threes because Covington went to the offensive glass in this quarter. Nightmarish for Houston, but James Harden can still redeem the Rockets here. They get the screen. They low resistance switch this. Harden has the advantage on Gilgeous-Alexander. Down the lane. Sets up Tucker. He eludes Adams. Goes for the short floater, and he gives Houston the lead. Not the shot you would expect.
And that's all fueled by a low resistance switch that OKC, they could have challenged Harden to pull that quickly. He doesn't do that very often now.
Yeah, what they've avoided that all series. Now it's Gilgeous-Alexander. Back to Paul against Gordon. Not an advantage matchup. They want to get the switch here. They don't give it to him. That's an adjustment they've made. Westbrook coming over for a double off of Dort. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Westbrook loses Schroeder. Schroeder's three is short. Great box out from Tucker, but he goes down and it squirts away to Gordon. Houston will run some clock here. Paul tries to draw the foul. Thank God they didn't call that. But now Gordon turns it over. Paul looking to go at Harden. Harden falls down, no call. Here's Paul with the jumper, way short. Rebound Covington. And Mike D'Antoni, a desperation timeout to stop what probably would have just been another turnover. Loving the refereeing here. Paul tries to fall down. Harden tries to fall down. No call. And Houston has a chance here now, so let's break it down with 41.9 left.
41.9 left. The Rockets are ahead by 1. And the thing that you know is that OKC is going to try to move quickly. They have 2 timeouts. OKC might try to advance the ball. So for me with Houston, yeah, you do kind of want to run the time down a little bit, but I think teams are too cautious here and should try to get a good shot more quickly. Don't stall out just because you're trying to run time.
So if they run the full clock off, they will be able to get it under 20 seconds. It would be about 17 left. You definitely need to get it under about 26 because you can't give OKC a chance to get 2 possessions. So yes, I think I would agree.
So you want to slow it down a little bit, but I think you want to run stuff during that time anyway.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I would imagine they're not going to. I wouldn't want to provide any opportunity for a turnover here. Also, a chance for OKC now to go offense-defense as we're seeing just this completely ridiculous sequence here. Harden continues good defense. I'm surprised that he fell down there, though, because he was right in front trying to draw the foul. He gave up a wide-open shot to Chris Paul, and Chris Paul would love to have that one back. That is his absolute bread and butter. So let's see what the personnel is here with 41.9 remaining. 22 is all that's left on the shot clock. And Gallo is out of the game. Harden is guarded by Dort. Are they just going to dribble the air out of the ball or set a screen? Harden attacking early. I think they wanted to actually try for the 2-for-1 themselves, interestingly enough, and the pass was deflected by Gilgeous-Alexander. I thought Gordon could have done a better job of shaking up from the corner to get open. 11 on the clock as they inbound. Get it back to Westbrook. Crossing over. He goes into the lane. Left hand. Bricks it. Here comes OKC. They're behind the play again. Westbrook is trotting back. They get it to Paul. They're down 1. Guarded by Covington. This is the matchup Paul wants.
They're playing for the last shot?
He wants Adams on the other side. Westbrook with the interception, but it goes to Shea. Shea attacking Covington. Here's Dort. Dort to win it. No. And it's blocked by Harden. James Harden with the defensive stop.
Echoes of Manu Ginobili blocking James Harden all those years ago on a potential series winning, on a game shifting shot.
And James Harden, what a play. He takes away the pass to Adams. He's not guarding Dort. He sprints out in the closeout. He blocks Dort's three-pointer.
Here's a question, though. I think that Harden had never reestablished inbounds when he touches this ball again.
Yeah, Dort tried to throw it off of him. I don't know if if there's anything to trigger a review. It is out of bounds. Maybe they'll look at it. I think you're right, though. But there's also a shot clock issue here, Danny, as well, because there's about a 1 second differential. So this could easily be a shot clock violation as well. So a lot for the referees to sort out here. They'll have to take a look at the timing. Maybe we can get a better look at it, but that's a great point that Harden was out of bounds when he touches it there. Let's see. We're going to get a look at it now. And first, we'll see the replay. Westbrook with great defense. Westbrook and Harden with defensive plays on the last possession of the game in the clutch. So there's the block. He gets it back.
So I think there was,
when
Harden touches the ball, there was about 2.5 seconds left. So if they say that he was out of bounds, it would be 2.5. or
Yeah,
so.
that does not hit Harden. The baseline camera showed us that. But are we going to see? Yeah, we're not seeing it here. It really happened before then. Harden did a great job eluding that attempt by Dort to throw it off of him. I don't know why Dort tried to throw it off of him, frankly. That was weird.
I think he was trying to get a sideline out of bounds. I think that's the theory.
Let's see what the explanation is here. So it's Houston ball. So Dort actually came from out of bounds is what they're saying. Yeah, so he's out of bounds and he grabs it. Yeah, that's what it is. He stepped
that's
out.
the right call.
Yeah, that was tough. We weren't seeing the replay early enough to figure that out. But yeah, he stepped out and then he grabs it. So that, yeah, it's going to be Houston ball. They're going to win the series. Clearly, you take the timeout now to advance it into the front court with 1.6 left.
And this, you can even do the circumstance of grab the ball and throw it in the air or something like that. But OKC, theoretically, if they can get the foul quickly enough, OKC does still have 2 timeouts left.
Yeah, you see the left foot of Dort is out of bounds. Pretty impossible one to see live there. Great play by Harden, though. So now they should advance the ball in the front court and take the timeout because we're going to get another commercial here. But the situation you want to be in is, yeah, you'd rather be in the front court than in the back court with the timeout because even if they deny the ball in bounds and they switch, you can still just kind of toss it in towards your own basket if you have to avoid the 5-second call. And OKC is, as long as it hits someone and doesn't go straight out of bounds, there's nothing OKC is really going to be able to do. Maybe they could grab the ball immediately and call a timeout and advance it, but I still would rather advance the ball. Do you agree with me there?
I agree with you there. And also, like, they could even do a desperation throw off of the person defending the inbound if they wanted to. Like, you could, I mean, as long as it doesn't hit off the inbounder.
Yeah, that's a little riskier, actually. I would just throw it out into space and make someone go get it.
The reason throwing into space is a little bit riskier in this is because of the 2 timeouts. So you're probably right. I'm just thinking about what you do if your internal clock gets to about 4.
Yeah. All right. So they have advanced the ball. No timeouts remaining. Presumably, OKC is going to switch everything. There is a chance that they could foul. Houston hits a couple of free throws and then get a timeout, particularly now with 2.7 left. They've changed it. It was at 1.5. Eric Gordon has not agreed with many calls today. He doesn't agree with that one. So certainly a commanding position for Houston, but the 2.7 does change things a little bit. First, they got to get it in bounds. Presumably it'll be to Gordon or Harden. Harden trying to work to get open. He can't. They barely get it in. He tries to throw it up, but they're going to give the foul with 2.0 remaining. At least as of now, we'll see what they change it to. So good job by OKC, but Harden, a great free throw shooter, has a chance to at least... Oh, no, the foul to give. Oh, that's a killer.
Yeah, and that Chris Paul foul that occurred just before the 2-minute warning now burns them.
They try to get it into Covington. Now they do. Covington, not as reliable a free throw shooter, not a guy who takes a lot of free throws.
And only 0.6 went off the clock there on that second foul.
Yeah, they may even try to get more of this time put back on. That was a very quick foul. Covington, an excellent free throw shooter in the regular season, but, I mean, what is this, like his 3rd free throw of the series or something? It'll remain 1.4. And I apologize. We got to get better about the fouls to give in the fourth quarter. Oh, man. Just barely drops in.
Almost channeled his inner Jimmy Butler.
So one more here. If he misses it, a little bit more time may go off before they can call timeout.
Well, and Houston in that circumstance could just tip the ball in the air.
Yeah, you want to avoid a potential over the back, though. That would be a killer.
Oh.
Here's Covington. Misses the free throw. They get the timeout. 1.2 is what they say will remain. OKC will have a chance to tie or take the lead, improbably, considering where they were it looked like there was 1.5 left and they didn't have the ball, but they put extra time on for the out of bounds on Dort. And that'll give OKC one more chance. So what are they going to go for here? I think the guy to get it to, they don't really have anyone who's good at shooting it on the move over guys. I think Gallo is the guy they need to look for here at 6'10", who can shoot over the top of these smaller Houston defenders.
I agree. And Houston doesn't even, I mean, do they put Tyson Chandler on, exhume him to put him on the inbounder? They don't really even have tall guys on this team.
Sorry, Danny, I lost you. What'd you say there?
I was talking about how Houston doesn't even have a tall guy to guard the inbounder unless it's Tyson Chandler.
Yeah, this is basically, with 1.2, you probably do not have time. It's 1.1 in the end. You do not have time for a dribble, most likely. You would be really chancing it. And so I really, Chris Paul, not really going to come off a screen. Maybe Shea is the other guy they could look for. They might try, maybe Gallo setting a back screen for Steven Adams. Houston surely will switch everything here. They're going to try to force some sort of miscommunication. There's Gallo. He's guarded by Harden, but Gordon is kind of getting ready to switch on to him. Let's see. Schroeder is in the backcourt. Covington kind of leaving him. Watch Gallo at the opposite free throw line. That's the guy. They try to get it into him, and they got to take another timeout. Pretty lackluster attempt to get open there by OKC. I mean, did anyone actually run? I don't understand what the big controversy here is now.
I mean, there could have been a hold or something before the foul, before the ball was inbounded.
But they didn't call a foul.
Yeah.
So what's there to review? Are they saying no, there was a foul already? Oh, they're trying to say that there was a foul. They called timeout before there was a foul? I mean, Gordon was kind of holding Gallo. Yeah, Gordon did grab Gallo. Ooh, that would be a bad foul. And this would be one shot and the ball out of bounds again. So maybe it doesn't sink him in the end. I'm going to just listen to what the refs are saying here. A foul on James Harden prior to the timeout. I thought Gordon was the one who was grabbing him.
And I believe if they're calling that on Harden, maybe they're going to correct it. That would be his fifth.
Yeah, well, with this free throw, presumably it'll be a 1-point game. Who did Harden foul? Do we know that? This is interesting, actually. This rule is supposed to actually benefit the offense, right? But instead, if this were just a normal 2-shot foul, he could tie the game right now. And I don't know whether Houston actually instructed them to be really handsy because this wasn't going to hurt. They would have been better off if they had just inbounded the ball, and after the ball was inbounded, they could get 2 free throws.
I mean, it still hurts because it turns a potential 2-point.
Oh!
It would have turned a 2-point shot into a game winner, but now we're in the same spot.
So yeah, they got Harden with a foul on Paul somehow. Yeah, I really don't understand that call. I thought it was Gordon who fouled Gallo. That must have been what happened. All right, here we go.
They might have just said the wrong name.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. And so now,
because the timeout didn't count, because of the foul, they got another one left.
Yeah, so this is all very confusing. But nobody has any timeouts left now. Gallo missed the one free throw. So I guess in that respect, because he missed the first free throw, at least you can't say you were robbed by the application of this rule. And so now it's going to be really interesting. I imagine they'll try something for Gallo again, but he's going to have to work harder to get open. Like, you got to really. I mean, one thing that'll happen on these plays that I've noticed is guys just kind of like let guys get on them. You just like you're being held. You don't really run at full speed. You got to do a hard run one direction and then a hard V cut and go the other direction to get that separation, and also just give yourself room to accelerate without the guy grabbing on you.
And also, I would have some sort of slip to the basket available on this play because that's your best chance of getting a good look.
Yeah, I mean, maybe just like a back screen with a quick slip. Try to force a miscommunication.
I mean, you could lob it to Adams for a tip.
They're trying to get it in. Westbrook takes it away, and Westbrook with the play on Adams. He took away the pass to Gallo. He took away the pass to Adams, and that will do it. Houston survives on the defensive efforts of Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Improbable finish, and they will survive to take on the Lakers in the next round. What a series this was in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And Harden doing it on the defensive end when he didn't on the offensive end. 17 points, 4 of 15 from the field, 1 of 9 from 3. Did have 9 assists, but also had 4 turnovers. Though worth noting, Rockets plus 9 in his minutes, and then were outscored by 7 when he sat.
And he played 37 minutes. Westbrook played 34, and they had the energy to make the plays. Westbrook off of the inbounder. Often controversial when you don't guard the inbounder on some of these plays. He takes away the first look from Gallo. They try to get it into Adams, who could have done little there anyway.
Also worth noting, yeah, exactly. If Adams gets that ball, nothing happens.
Yeah, here's the block from Harden on Lou Dort, of all guys. Great ending here. And that'll do it for our coverage today. Of course, we'll have more on Dunked On. Thanks so much, guys. Love doing this, and we're going to take tomorrow off, but maybe back on Friday. We'll have to see, but stay tuned on your calendar. Hopefully all of you guys are just following that calendar link to just get notifications in your calendar of when all these are going to be. Talk to y'all next time.